Come on and shake it up, baby.
Yes, the Beatles.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, is it? It is?
It's not a Beatles song.
No.
Because I usually, for a Beatles song, you're like, I'm British and my teeth hurt my mouth.
The Beatles are all over.
Teeth hurt my mouth. Oh no, Ringo, he got shot. All right, we got a new drummer. Everyone now. The leaves are brown and this music's not good. This music's not good. Back to the teeth one. You guys know it?
Yeah. Was this part of your stand-up set?
Yeah.
It was
but it's
weirdly rehearsed.
Yeah, it's like 4.5 minutes. And the room gets real quiet, dude. Yeah. I only do it to rooms of old people.
I like it.
They get real upset with me.
The Beatles have, like, no genre.
No.
Like, all of their songs sound radically different. I've listened to, like, 6 different Beatles songs and been like,
this
baby slaps. It slaps.
Good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. But, like, Yellow Submarine, what's that about?
Not that good. The Cuckoo Choo one, I'm not into.
Year 3000, not that great.
How's that go?
And we went to the year 3000. Life's underwater and our teeth don't hurt anymore. Dentistry got really good. Yeah, no, dude.
Yeah.
No, because that's exactly what fucking the Beatles were. They were just the Jonas Brothers of the 60s.
Speaking of the Jonas Brothers, and then we'll move on to things people want to hear.
No, this is exactly what people want from us.
Have you listened to the Jonas Brothers recently?
No. Nick Jonas came out as a very ardent Elon Musk supporter.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah. I was never, I've told you this multiple times. Disney Channel was for girls.
Yeah, it was for girls. That's why I wasn't into the Jonas Brothers.
Yeah.
But kind of recently, I heard, before the Elon Musk thing, I heard, like...
Because you loved his you loved him for his diabetes.
I loved him for... Nick?
What?
No, Nick Jonas.
Yeah, Nick Jonas' diabetes.
What?
What?
We're talking about a different Nick,
There's
clearly.
only one. It's me.
But their songs are so weirdly sexual, considering it was a band of 14-year-olds.
I mean, find me somebody hornier than a 14-year-old.
The one that's like, I'm hot, you're cold.
Wasn't Demi Lovato on that?
No, that's just boys.
No. What?
It's just the boys.
I thought...
no girl part.
Am I thinking the Big Yard Boys? The Big 10? The Big Time Rush?
Big Time,
That's what I was thinking about, baby.
No, they also are all boys. Demi Lovato was in Camp Rock.
Camp Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Like I said, didn't do Disney.
Yeah,
So
clearly.
Girl.
Clearly.
Man, I would have got so much more play if I did, though. God damn it. All
That's
these girls
fair.
were like, you watched the new Hannah Montana episode? And if you could say yes, you were in there.
Dude, I was all over it.
Like swimwear, baby. I preemptively, like as a child, became a Justin Bieber fan. 1, because his music used to slap. And 2, well, his music's actually still pretty good. But 2, because I was like, damn, girls like Justin Bieber. If I can talk to him about Justin Bieber, that's going to get me in.
God, you're thinking like a 12th grader in 5th grade. That's incredible.
I was way ahead of the
I was
curve, dude.
I was like a vehemently against Justin Bieber kind of dude.
Oh, absolutely. I wanted to be his best buddy.
Wow.
I still want to be. I used to have like long, distended dreams about becoming friends with Justin Bieber. And I'd still like to know him.
Yeah.
I'm like 2 connections away from Justin Bieber.
He seems funny. I saw his roast.
How would we get to Justin Bieber?
Step 1?
I think about
Step 1?
Yep.
Get on Wipeout. That gets us with John Cena.
Is he hosting? Is it John? Is the day longer for John Cena? Like, does he get 36 hours a day?
You can't see him because he's everywhere.
Yeah, because he's literally omnipresent.
Yeah. What? Don't get caught. Don't get caught in this.
Because like I recently realized, like I was like, because I'm trying to reach out to a bunch of people for anime IRL, kind of thing. He's just loving on you, dude. You're getting crotch dog.
I'm getting crotch dog.
You're getting big time crotch dog. You're getting snoozed.
Big time crotch dog, the sister band.
Yeah,
to Big Time
Big
Rush.
Time crotch dog. That's a fucking skunk metal band. I like that a lot. But I was thinking about like, connections that we could make. Because I was trying to reach out to Brandon Rogers. Right. And I was like, I know a lot of people who know Brandon Rogers, so I'm 1 connection away from Brandon Rogers. I was like, how many connections away am I from Mr. Beast?
Ty,
or my intern.
Ty was on his show.
We went on, because like Mr. Beast was like, all 1,000 people, here's my cell phone number. No,
Ty and Cosette.
And I was like, damn, who would I have to go through to get to Justin Bieber? Austin. He knows Simon Cowell. I'm sure Simon Cowell knows Justin Bieber.
Austin
somehow.
Porter from
Pretty Much.
Pretty Much.
We go Pretty Much Austin Porter, and then we go, I'm getting a call from Manchester, New Hampshire.
Answer it live. It's a caller. It's a live caller.
You're right. Yeah, I forgot we put up our phone numbers.
Anyone who wants to call in can.
Do it now.
Yeah, do it right now.
Yeah.
Call them back.
Man, should I? What if it's like, hey, like
It's like, hey, we got your herpes test results.
Yeah,
Double positive.
yeah, it's the most positive we've ever seen.
Yeah, you're patient 0.
Yeah.
For herpes X.
X. We're in voicemail. Hello?
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 The number you're trying to reach has
Brutal. Well, these things happen to the worst of us. Anyways.
We should do something like that at some point where it's like
we just call we
like a contact roulette. It's like, hey, I'm on my podcast right now. What do you know about anime? And it's like, you kissed me once and never talked to me again.
I'm telling you right now, that probably composes 10 to 15% of my contacts.
High odds. It's literally roulette then.
If you just, I have like 1,000 or so contacts. And honestly, I'll scroll them occasionally and I'm like, oh, I don't know any of these people.
My issue is I have a lot that like I know the first name and the last name. I put like how I know them or their. This one's just L.
That one's just L.
I don't know who this is. L?
Yep.
Uh-oh. Who is this?
Mitch Amber. I went to college with him. I have a girl in here as do not answer.
That's huge.
Yeah, but that's because she was responsible in high school. She was responsible if like somebody dropped out of a like we had a job system, and if somebody like was like too sick to do their job, she would call around the school and see if anybody could pick up their job for the day. So I literally had her as do not answer.
That's awesome.
Because I never wanted to do shift work in high school.
That's a good call. I have lacrosse girl.
Nice.
All one word. I don't know who this is.
That sounds like a Tumblr. That's a Tumblr username.
A lot of these, I'm pretty sure, are like old Tinder ones. I got this one, Rush Law. That guy taught me jujitsu for a year.
That's what a storied history you have with the combat arts.
That's me. That's me, baby.
But before I go any further, I want to talk to you about the sponsor of today's episode, BetterHelp. What do you want your 2025 to be? See, every single January that rolls around, we're given 365 blank notes to write our story on. Maybe there'll be a plot twist halfway through your story, or something that you need to improvise. But throughout this writing journey, you should think about therapy as your editorial partner. Somebody there to help you write new chapters and make sure your story ends happily. See, one of the most important changes that I made in my life in 2024 was seeking out a therapist who allowed me to understand that I am not the business decisions that I make, a therapist who helped me appreciate all of the great things that I have in my life. And without BetterHelp, I never would have come into contact with that therapist. See, BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy not only affordable, but also convenient, as they serve over 5 million people worldwide, with a network of over 30,000 credentialed therapists. And with a network as deep and as broad as BetterHelp's, switching between therapists is not only easy, but also comes at no additional cost. So what are you waiting for? It's time you write your story. And this time, don't let it be a tragedy with BetterHelp. So visit betterhelp.com/otakus to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/otakus.
Do you want to tell everybody where you're off to after this?
I'm off to get my first actual boxing lesson.
Yeah, you are.
Let's go. It's going to be in walking distance of here.
Yep.
So for all of you Patreon subscribers, you'll get to see me in this outfit looking like this, and then it'll cut, and you can go to our Patreon video, which we're recording today, and I will be this, but wet.
Yeah.
What?
Are you going to shower here? Are you going to shower at LA Fitness?
I'm not showering.
You can absolutely
What am I, a coward?
You can shower. There's a whole guest bathroom right there.
We'll see.
Connected to the office.
See how much I reek.
You going to shower at LA Fitness?
I don't have any other clothes, so it's like...
What do you... You're
I'm
coming
going to
here
shower and then put on dirtier clothes.
But bring clean clothes.
I didn't.
Why?
I was just wearing this. This is what I'm going to work out in.
I'm going to have to sit next to you for 2 hours after you do a boxing workout?
Oh, like I don't sit next to you after you work out?
I shower after I work out.
It'll be fine.
Every time I shower.
I don't smell.
I doubt that.
We'll see.
I doubt that very much.
If
you don't smell, LA Fitness does.
That's fair.
There's a scent in there.
We'll get it figured out.
There's no ventilation. There's no windows. They don't open them.
I've never been. I'm excited to see.
Because they have to get... You ever been to an LA Fitness?
No.
Oh, you're a Planet Fitness person.
Yeah, I'm a Planet Fitness guy. Yeah.
It's not better.
No, I bet.
No, it's pretty much the same
No
thing.
lunk alarm. So
Fair.
that's exciting.
It's a blue color scheme instead of a purple.
Gotcha.
Purple and yellow is...
Instead of a lunk alarm, they just have tranquilizer darts.
No. They just like throw an air one smoothie at you. You're trying to get as much of it in your mouth as you possibly can. Fucking go to Equinox.
No, I don't have $400 a month.
$250 a month, all right? And they have
So
eucalyptus scented towels. It's very nice.
I would if you could bring a friend. I don't like working out alone.
Who do you work out with at Planet
Josh, Sarah.
Really?
Yeah.
No. That's cute.
Yeah.
I love it for you.
It's easier to work out when you bring someone.
I work out alone every single day.
Yeah, in your home,
In
which
my
is
home,
easier.
it is very nice. I watch fucking anime. By the way, speaking of anime, we have a fair amount to talk about today. Actually, we have an okay amount to talk about. I am halfway through the last episode of Owl House. I wanted to finish it, but I don't have Disney Plus on my phone.
Oh my god!
And
halfway through the last episode.
Okay, so here's my thing. I was watching the last episode while I was working out, and then I was like, it's time for core.
Yeah.
But like when I'm on core, like I'm doing core, I'm like laying down, or I'm like watching, and I was like, I feel like this is like an important 25 minutes to lock in for.
Yeah.
But that was Friday afternoon, and then I went to Salt Lake City and threw my body down a mountain for like 48 hours straight. So I haven't had those 25 minutes to finish the episode.
God,
I know.
What a cliff you're hanging on the
A lot
ledge
of stuff going on. It's
Damn
absolutely nuts. We're also going to talk about
Soul
Leveling episode 4.
Yes.
And then we're
Sakamoto Days 3.
I'm rewatching Link Click season 2 that I want to talk about a little bit. What are you watching season 2 or?
I watched it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've like finished the whole thing.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah.
And then we have episodes 2 through 8 for Castlevania.
Yes.
So we got a lot to talk about here. But before we do that, I want to establish that I'm old. That
Agreed.
I'm old. I went skiing for 2 days. My entire body hurts, and apparently beer gives me heartburns now. So
No.
I don't know. I'm starting to realize I have nothing to live for. Like I'm at this point in life where I'm just like, okay, cool. All the things I love hurt me now. Beer hurts me. Skiing hurts me. That's like the 2 tenets of my soul. That's the 2 wolves inside of me, and they're fighting each other now, which is not good.
You're winding down.
I'm turning into an NPC. And then also I wanna quickly show you. I don't know if you saw this. I sent it to the group chat. But we posted a video about how good we were talking about episode 1 of Castlevania on our Instagram. It ended up getting posted.
This is a crazy comment.
We got one of the craziest comments, and then one of the craziest comment replies I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
So, surprise, spoiler for the end of this episode, me and Danny are going to be talking about Castlevania season 2 and how
Nocturne
and how fucking incredible it was. Like some of the best content I've watched in years. But we got one of these comments said, I thought most of the season was made by AI. The story is great, but the animation and art is so stagnant. And then somebody responded, dude, what? And he said, the last half of the newest season is by far the worst looking season, and 80% of it looks like AI animated it. The season started off good, but got worse through it. The story is awesome. I just hate the animation. When it's just a mouth moves and that's it, that's a red flag.
I'm befuddled.
It's one of the most
dumbfounded.
astounding takes I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's crazy too, because when he was like, I thought this season was made by AI.
Yeah.
If he went from like a story perspective, because I liked the story.
Yeah.
But if he was like, oh, the writing was bad, there's more of an argument there. Like I'd give him the debate.
This season of Nocturne is the most stereotypical season of Castlevania like content I've ever watched.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, big baddie. Big baddie isn't the real big baddie. Kill the real big baddie and the secondary big baddie, and also there's some ghost that popped up that's like apparently Mephisto, and it's gonna be way worse when we have to deal with him down the line.
Yeah, but him being like, no, the story was good.
Yeah.
The animation sucked. Is he blind? Was he just listening to the like descriptions?
Genuinely, like he might like have a subscription to Eyes and he forgot to pay it or something.
Yeah,
because
that
like
could be
that
that.
is I'm watching episode 7. I was like sitting there dumbstruck, and I was like, I texted the group and I was like, Danny, you're gonna freak the fuck out when you watch this, because episode 7 is just 30 straight minutes of hands.
Yeah.
And not like your classic, like what you were talking about, like Castlevania, where it feels like somewhat choppy and you feel as though they're skipping frames. It is smoothly animated, smoothly choreographed, like fucking some of the most incredible animated content I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, it's insane. It was a wild for someone to be like, this is the worst animated season of Castlevania, maybe of any show I've seen.
No.
Because also, until now, I have very often been like, I hate that this show looks like Castlevania. I hate that this one, the Witcher anime, the Tomb Raider anime, everything's copying Castlevania style. Now, I'm like, man, I wish those shows looked like Castlevania.
Yeah.
Like, Nocturne Season 2 has really carved its own unique style to the point where it doesn't really look that much like the original Castlevania.
It doesn't.
Like, they're clearly,
Related.
the same franchise, but like Nocturne has like double the amount of detail. It's like it's like original Castlevania is on like a medium graphic setting, and this is on like the ultra quality.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also the movement's like way more fluid.
So much smoother.
There's a lot. It's just like gorgeous 90% of the time, just in terms of like you pause it and something pretty's happening.
Yeah. Like him, like Richter, like making his like whip lightning or something, or just like equipping his ice hands. The end of the season when like you're seeing like his face. They did the same thing with what is her name? Elizabeth Bathory. Where like they would do like this like forehead
angular,
POV and they make her super angular. And they did the same thing with Richter at the end of the season where they just made like a bunch of dark shaded lines.
Dude, Richter was on some Blue Lock energy. By the end of this, like, I was like, man, I wish I liked Richter a little more as a character to really, like, anytime Deku, for example, goes from, like, bitch to Blair Witch, as I call it, where he's like, you know, you remember the times in the first season where he's like kind of a wimpy bitch, and then they give him like those angles where like his eyes are all blacked out, and he's like ready to throw down.
Like the trails going behind him. Yeah.
And you're like, oh fuck, here we go. Like Richter had that glow up, but it wasn't attached to someone I like really love as a character yet. But like I still was fucking in it. Like I was so down for it. All right, so I guess we're talking about Castlevania.
We're doing Castlevania now. That's called a segue, baby.
Boy, is it. Okay, I'll get my most controversial note out of the way first.
Okay, cool. Yeah, bury it.
You told me that the fight in episode 7 is fantastic.
It is.
Hey, buddy, what fight?
What do you mean, what fight?
Episode 7 is just a schoolyard beatdown.
It is a jumping.
It is a 4-man jumping.
Yeah.
It is no fight. My most controversial note, episode 8 is way better.
The fight against Drolta, yeah.
Way better. Just all of it. Because it's fucking episode 7 of season 2 of Nocturne is just a schoolyard beatdown. She's just getting fucking flopped around.
Yeah.
Like it's 4 dogs fighting over a toy.
She's like trying to block the fire of the dragon that Maria has summoned, while also like Richter's coming across with a haymaker of a lifetime, and Eustace made of knives. He might as like he's a knife factory under his jacket.
I love any time a vampire like turns around and just gets pin cushioned by a barrage of knives.
One of my favorite moments is when Eustace sees Tara for the first time when he's talking to Maria, and he literally like pulls out a string of knives from his jacket and just throws them all. And I was like, you're gonna have to pick up all those.
Yeah, I want to see the like after battle scene of him like picking them up like they're Nerf darts.
Yeah, just you have to put them all back on the string.
Yeah, Just is the 10-10 of this series.
Not important.
Just all knives.
Just made of
all
weapons.
Knives all day.
Yeah.
But there are moments in episode 7, actually not even moments, just the entirety of episode 7 is just this long ass fucking sock monkey getting ragdolled about.
I like Sock Monkey a lot.
Yeah, that's what she looks like. And episode 8 is the fucking boys being back in town because the girls kind of take a back seat. Maria and Annette are like kind of not doing a bunch.
They're magicked out. Yeah.
They're magicked out. They're like channeling shit. And you get just a good old fashioned Richter Alucard beatdown.
Dude, it is awesome, dude. Alucard is fighting against, who's he fighting against during that? So
what's her
Alucard's fighting
name?
Drolta in the beginning, and then he has to go somewhere, right?
Olorox, like stops, like comes in and helps. Oh, and then he gets stabbed by his own sword.
Yeah.
Which is fucking stupid. How does that happen?
The sword you can control.
The sword you can control with your mind? Don't get stabbed by that.
Turn into bats.
The second she grabs it, make it do a little spin.
Or just bats.
Yeah, just be bats.
Always bats.
I've been saying from episode 1, Alucard should be bats 100% of the time and just have his sword fight people.
Be nearly as fuckable if he was just bats.
That's fair.
Yeah, it wouldn't be.
I'd fuck a cloud of bats. Are you kidding me?
If I knew it could eventually turn into Alucard, if I knew there was a 1% chance that it turned into Alucard, you're just stabbing it in all directions, see if you can hit a bat.
Yeah. We should do, I don't know how we turn this into a con game, but I'd love to do like, all right, for $10,000, would you fuck a cloud of bats, but you don't know who the bats turn into? And then it's like, when they say yes or no, it's like, you want to see what the cloud of bats he just fucked? And then we hold up a picture and it's like Mike Tyson or something.
Just a child.
Yeah.
Just like, Yeah, that's why you always get the idea of the bats. You're fucking monster.
Yeah, that's why you never pick the bats.
This one, just like gets tackled.
Yeah, the game's bats are prison. It's always a kid.
Yeah, the bats are always a kid.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of moments from episode 7 that I adored, like Olroc's coming back, and like you just see like I think like Alucard's getting pressed by Drolta, and you see Drolta like a huge like spire of fire hit Drolta, and I was like, I literally got it was like I hate to use this moment because it's so cliche and it's so fucking so surface level in terms of cinema, but like Captain America pulling like Mjolnir, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, when Olroc's pulled back up into this fight, I like legitimately got chills.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's so dope.
I like that Olrox turns into a giant like flying serpent that shoots lightning from its eyes.
And everybody just calls him a snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What an insane combination of powers.
I wonder if it has anything to do with his Mayan descent.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's Kukulkan Khan, I think. He turns into fucking. Let me look it up. Kukla.
Yeah, have fun spelling that.
Yeah,
There's a lot of CHs in that language.
He's like a big fucking Mayan winged dragon.
Oh, that is what he is.
Yeah, that's his bit.
Really dope. I like
He's
that
like
a lot.
Mayan god of storms or something.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I played Smite.
I did. It's Smite about Mayan.
It's
about,
League of Legends, but with different pantheons of gods. Yeah, it's really cool.
Wait, so like you're like jungle and shit?
Yeah, there's jungle and like it's literally League of Legends, but it's third person instead of top down.
Yeah.
And you pick from like Celtic gods, Mayan gods, Greek. The problem is they've kind of run out. So the latest character they dropped is Aladdin.
Oh no.
Don't you just hate when you stub your toe and you're like, curse Aladdin?
God, you fucking carpet.
Damn you,
Your carpet
Aladdin.
could have come in between me and that curb.
Yeah.
That's crazy. They're doing Disney now.
It's really
It's gonna get Elsa in the next season patch.
Yeah, they just don't have gods anymore. So they're like, what's like a myth, I guess?
Go like Pastafarianism. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fucking like get Joseph Smith in there. Get Jesus.
Everyone wants Jesus. They won't do Jesus.
That's why.
I don't know. They're
Why?
cowardly.
That's fucking. Listen, people need to start praying to Greek gods more often so we can like equate them.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. Do they have like Hinduism? They have Hindu gods, Buddhist gods.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Do Jesus then.
They don't have they have Hindi gods. They don't have Muhammad.
Okay. But he's a prophet. He's not a god.
I see.
That's like
yeah, well, guess what? Aladdin isn't either. Aladdin's also a prophet.
Muhammad doesn't have a carpet.
I guess so. Well, you're hanging on the carpet too much. It's the genie that makes Aladdin cool.
Nah, it's more the carpet.
No.
Yeah, the carpet makes him fuckable. Right?
That's fair.
Right?
That's fair.
Fucking-
Although, in a literal sense, the genie does make him fuckable. He turns him into a prince.
He wasn't a prince before? I've never seen Aladdin. I haven't seen it. I'm sorry.
Genie, he's like, hey, genie, I want to be a prince. And he's like, say no more.
Why not a king?
Prince. He wants to marry the princess.
I don't even know why I said that. Prince is an objectively better existence.
Yeah, if you're in your 20s, you don't want to be a king.
Oh my God, no. Yeah, fucking a 12-year-old king sitting on a throne and was like, oh, my sheep are dead. Fuck off.
Yeah.
I want to be up in the company coffers.
Yeah.
Just running ripshod through medieval France.
Yeah, just dueling and fucking.
Catching syphilis before anybody knows what it was and just slowly rotting away into my 40s.
That's it, baby.
Yeah, just getting nose drip.
That's
like,
Aladdin. You have seen it.
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's fucking, he's just dripping away on that carpet. And he's like, please, genie, who's Will Smith.
Yeah.
I don't remember the genie's name.
Will Smith.
Will Smith. He's like,
His name's just Genie.
yeah, is he really?
Yeah. Which is rude. He never asks. Aladdin's never like, what's your name?
No, they spent a lot of time together. They just keep calling him Genie.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, Prince.
Yeah, he's like, the name's Chris, but go off.
Yeah, fucking asshole. I've been there for a decade.
Yeah.
Gotta fucking at least give me some humanity here.
Yeah, it's like, you don't have a Saudi Arabian name, and it's like, I'm a billion years old.
Dude, I was here before Sumer.
Yeah.
Fucking, I don't even have a human name. But yeah, you want to go like from a more episodic perspective here?
Sure.
My biggest note from episode 2 was, oh my God, they made Drolta hotter.
Yeah, because she turns into a demon.
You like Night Beast stream so vampire Drolta, night creature. Who you banging first?
Night Creature is way better. I don't love her udder wings. She's got like weird udder.
She's got like Sasuke
tips.
wings. They're like cool finger like.
Yeah.
You know?
Her wings are weird. She's objectively a lot hotter as a night creature.
Yeah.
I don't get night creatures.
What do you mean?
They don't make any sense.
As in they can walk out in the sun?
They can walk out in the sun,
Yes.
which is fine, whatever. Although I would argue every vampire should just become a night creature in that regard.
Well, it's like it wasn't a thing that they knew they could do.
Right. I
and
suppose.
it's not even really a thing they should have been able to do.
Well, so they can walk in the sun.
Yes.
Cool. Good for them. They like don't change mentally at all.
What do you mean?
Why is Edward just still Edward?
It's like okay, so it's like that is fair. This is very rare, and also depends on the person who makes them.
But he keeps turning others.
Yes, that's his thing though, because like his singing has the ability to turn night creatures, which is why he's always singing. Which is why the 10-armed fucking like ultra night creatures like hates him so much, is because he's a night creature who didn't lose his who lost his personality, and is therefore like subservient to the abbot. But Edward has a special ability where like when he sings, people remember who they were in a past life, which is a thing that like is kind of tackled in like I don't know what to call Castlevania. Like just like part one.
Just Castlevania, and then this is Nocturne.
Yeah,
Nocturne?
yeah. Like in Castlevania, like this is like a big talking point is about like night creatures remembering who they are, and like by like interacting with the things that they used to do. So Edward like being this like bastion of humanity for the night creatures brings a lot of them back.
Yeah.
But also they were converting all of these like French revolutionaries who like also like were actively like in war against the vampires, so like not the best people they could be converting.
Right.
How about the Silver Surfer just pulling up?
Yeah, how about that? How about her getting the best night creature design? Like really lucking out?
Yeah.
But speaking of that,
Yeah.
Edward, jumping ahead a little, Edward like is all upset because he's like, I'm a freak, I'm so ugly, no one's gonna accept me. My guy.
Kind of.
Yeah, the way Edward got the glow up treatment even harder than Dolta.
Like the hands on the face thing, like just like Edward was very pretty. Well, he was still a human, but like the night creature.
Way
A
pretty.
lot of night creatures just look like monsters.
Yeah.
He looks great.
Got piercing blue eyes, got a great voice.
Yeah, like that hasn't lost the most important thing about himself.
No,
He
yeah.
can still work.
I love his the hands because it makes him look all tragic.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you do like some Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
That's not it.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Pan's Labyrinth. There we go.
You got dang old Pan's Labyrinth in here.
Dang old Pan's. Talk about fucking fish man.
So yeah, episode 2, Dolta becomes hot.
Yep.
I think that's like the big thing.
That's the big thing for sure from episode 2 at least.
Episode 3.
I said her dedication makes sense. Oh, because the episode 2 was all about Jolta's backstory, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Like all the vampires coming into her I guess church sanctuary.
It's like a tomb. Like they're trying to resurrect what's her face, right?
Segment.
Yeah.
And they're like sacrificing all these women, and these vampires come out of nowhere and just like rip apart everybody. And she just like somehow manages to launch one of the vampires onto like a Sekhmet statue, and it pierces them right through. She drinks the blood. And I was like, oh, in this moment, I understand why Jolta would be so committed to try and bring Sekhmet back, because like she lost everything to her devotion, and has like therefore been like, oh, like the cause or like the means have to justify like the end result.
Yeah.
And I've lost everybody, so I can't stop until I've brought her back.
I was talking to Sarah, and she was talking about how that vampire specifically, he's like, you can't become a vampire. You're just a woman.
Yeah.
And she's like, I like that the vampires kind of change with the times. Like back then they're sexist, and then now they all like worship a queen.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's cool seeing like even vampires who are immortal are just kind of adapting to whatever society and culture is up to.
And that's what's kind of cool about Alucard's entire thing, because Alucard is from like, I don't know, like the 1300s or something. I don't remember when Castlevania takes place. It's like 1300-ish. And this is like the late 1700s.
Yeah.
And so like Alucard's talking about like the French Revolution, and he's like talking about like, oh, I'm very old and I've seen many revolutions kind of things. And it's like, so it's like kind of different, like where it's either you adapt or like you're like, oh, like history is just repeating itself, and like human life, like only being 80 years means that you never get to see it, but I've seen us do these cycles every single time.
Yeah.
But him talking about like, oh, I've been traveling through Japan and India, and seeing all these places, like life has been changing. I was like, oh, this is really cool to see. Like a vampire would really have to adapt to what's ever going on.
Well, speaking of adapting, I love that the show is like bold enough to like tackle like slavery and like classism and stuff like that. And it's not doing like full colorblind casting in the sense that it's like if a character in this time period is like black or like not from France, it's addressed and it like impacts like society and their character and stuff like and it just makes it so much more interesting to see the vampires like take part in the slave trade.
Yeah.
Because it's like, all right, we're doing this time period, we're doing this location, but we're not like wasting what makes that time period and location like unique and interesting. Instead, we're gonna like mold around it and adapt to it and then make like really interesting like black protagonists with it. And I like that a lot more than just like the Bridgerton effect where it's like, oh, we're just like racism didn't happen in this timeline.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, that's kind of dull, isn't it?
Yeah, you're like, oh, there's this black prince that like is just gonna date this. Like, they're basically just it's a dating show. It's a 2025 dating show, but everyone's wearing fucking fruffles. You know?
Exactly. Like it's so cool seeing like, you know, a Mayan vampire show up. And it matters that he's Mayan, and he had this backstory about when he was with like a Native American in America, and he like turned him, and like that shit. Like he was telling that story, and I was like, I want to see that backstory.
Yeah,
like,
right?
It's so cool how multicultural Nocturne is.
Yeah, and then like there's like the whole like and now his new boyfriend is in the church, and he's like, oh my god, like there's like the double shame of like one, I'm in a gay relationship, and two, like I'm breaking my celibacy vow, and three, like oh, I'm now a vampire.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
So like there's so many different lines that you get to pursue, and like it's the least colorblind kind of way because like literally the end of the season is Richter and Annette going back to Saint Domain to like be like, hey, the slave trade is still going on down there, and like it's being led by vampires. Like we need to we are needed there. Yeah. Like as opposed to being like, well, you know, let's stay in France because like a core messaging of Edouard and Annette's story is the fact that they like Annette was able to kill her like her slave master and they had to break out of Saint Domain because like they were like put in this oppressive system, and like France, not like an unblemished story, like a history, but like got ahead of like forbidding slaves very, very early, was like actually like a sanctuary for like a lot of like black people during World War II kind of thing. And so like the racism still exists in France, but like it's definitely like not the most important place you could be talking about in terms of race relations during that time period. Yeah. So them deciding to go back to Saint Domain at the end of the season was really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It was. I mean, like do we want to do like every single episode here?
Oh, I'd keep talking about this show.
Yeah, really?
That was all I had on the cultural thing.
Yeah. Outside of that, I think one of my favorite parts, speaking of Annette, was how deep, and like this speaks to the diversity of the show, how deep they got into Annette's magic during this season. Yeah. Like her being like, oh, Papa Legba is just like a gateway keeper to like your ancestors and all of that. And then doing like Ogun and like the combination of these like Swahili and also like Egyptian gods and like the combination of all of those, like her going to this like god ancestral plane where she meets the three versions of Sekhmet. Like it's like kind of cool. Like that is like this is a show legitimately teaching you about things that a lot of people are curious about. Like the Ba, the Ka, and there was another one, the Ak. The three versions like of like what the like gods, Egyptian, right? Like or like what Egyptian lore like an ideology said that you had. It was like your soul, your body, and like the good version of you. The Ka, the Ba, and the Ak. And it was like that was like a really cool thing you got to learn. And you said that Annette was the main character of season 1. Do you feel like she was the main character of this season as well?
It's weird. This is like it's like no one's the main character.
Right.
I'm like trying to think back on like arcs and shit, and I'm like, it feels like the vampires are in it more than anyone else.
Can I tell you what I relate the season to? Do you remember the season of Game of Thrones where Arya and the Hound are together? Yeah. And it's just like everybody's kind of off doing their own thing. There's a bunch of plot lines developing, and they all come to a head at the end of the season. Because like during that, there was also the the North arc where like Brennan or whatever his name was getting wheeled around, and they were like trying to figure out what was going on with like the North Walkers or whatever the names were. I was like, that's what it felt like to me. Like I felt like Maria and Juste had a very like Arya and the Hound relationship, where like Juste is like this old wizened guy who's like, hey, listen, I'm gonna try and point you in the right direction. Tara's trying to pull you in the wrong direction here. Like Tara like isn't exactly sure what she wants. She's a vampire. She's trying to figure it out. Like is her being around you a good thing? Is Tara evil? Yeah. And so, like, this season had so many cool character development arcs, which I thought was awesome because every single character that got development was a character that after watching, like, season 1 of Nocturne, you're like, that character sucks.
Who's your MVP of this season?
Can I answer that 2 ways?
Yep.
MVP is Richter. No, that's not true. MVP is Annette. Annette is by far and away the most important character from this season.
I mean, like, your personal favorite.
That's what I was going to say.
I got you.
So I was going to say, Annette is the MVP. She absolutely pulls the majority of, like, the heavy lifting. Like, Sekhmet's not getting defeated without her. Now, like Drolta, like, that's a Richter 1v1. Yeah. But, like, Sekhmet, who is a literal god, is not getting defeated without Annette literally taking on the Uk of Sekhmet. Outside of that, my favorite character this season man, Edward had a really cool season. I thought like his look, like us getting in a POV into the Night Creatures because of him. The relationship with that like Silver Surfer girl with the fucking.
Yep, go on.
With the.
Yep.
She had the katana top. What is it, right? Katana wears like that exact same like double strap top. Wowie. Anyways, so that was really cool. I always love seeing Edward, but if I'd say like my favorite character, man, Maria.
There it is. Maria
had a really cool season.
Maria's so fucking cool for such a lame character in season 1. Maria, mine bounces between Maria and Alucard because boy is Alucard like being a cutie patootie.
Always.
This whole season.
His entire role.
Dude, Maria's so fucking sick. Maria's like a villain arc that's like still kind of progressing.
Yeah.
Is she Marie Antoinette? Is that the bit?
I don't know.
I don't know anything about Marie Antoinette.
Neither do I.
Gotcha. Sarah was like, maybe. Because this season ends with her father, the abbot, who is now like a creepy, terrifying demon lord. And her mom, who is a vampire. And Maria, who is like, you know what? Cut all their heads off. They all deserve it.
Yeah.
And she's like positioned to continue this villain arc. And she's alone in France. So there's definitely like the feeling that Annette and Richter are gonna go to wherever they're off to and then come back to like a fucked up France and she's like the new queen.
Well, so Marie Antoinette was the last queen of France before the French Revolution. She was married to Louis XVI.
Gotcha.
So Louis the 16th.
But there were a couple French revolutions. So which one is this?
She was born 1755. She died in 1793. I'm assuming she got her head chopped off. Because Marie Antoinette was, she was killed by guillotine. She was the let them eat cake woman.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't, like I understand that would be really
When was
cool.
she around?
Like this exact time period.
Gotcha.
So when they're killing Louis, and Alucard's like, what Louis is that? And like they're like, oh, he's Louis the Last.
Yeah.
That was Marie Antoinette's husband.
Got you. I see.
So that was because right after that, that's like the real French Revolution, and that leads to the establishment of the French Republic, which just still stands today.
All very strong points. I will counter with there's vampires.
There's vampires in this one. Yeah. There's vampires, gods, and fucking Alucard is immortal.
Yeah, so it could be anything.
That would be really cool if they did come back, and I was like, like Maria, like slowly but surely, like trying to become a leader.
Yeah.
Like doing because they do this thing like with Fate where King Arthur is Artoria Pendragon, is the girl I have on my leg. And it's like, oh, King Arthur's a girl, and also like they talk about the Round Knights, like the Knights of the Round Table. They change a lot of things with it.
Yeah.
So it would be cool if like she became the last queen of France, but the leader of the French Revolution. That would be kind of sick.
I feel like that's where it's going because they've got the abbot behind her, and he's this weird fucking berserk ass like demon now. Take your time.
That's Mephisto.
But
you're talking about the shadowy figure that pulled like the abbot down into like hell, basically. Yeah. Apparently it's Mephisto. Yeah.
But who knows?
So because Aurochs is like, Aurochs sees him and he's like, oh, I know who you are. And he's like, Mephistus is like it's the German, like Mephisto is like what a lot of people that are like comic book fans would call Mephistus. But Mephistus is a German, either he's from like, either a god, like an ancient German god, or like from stories. I don't remember which is which. But like, so that's Mephistus who like took the abbot down to hell.
Oh.
So he might be corrupted by like the abbot. That'd be kind of cool.
Well, I thought it seems like, and the fact that he's like tied to Maria, it feels like the abbot was like taken by Satan or something, and like, you know, his evil intentions, like, you know, manifest some other form.
Yeah, so he's Mephistopheles. So Mephistopheles, also known as Mephisto, is a demon in German folklore and a stock character in literature and popular culture. He's best known for Temper Faust, who sells his soul, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, like, Olrox calls him Mephistopheles.
Got you.
Yeah, so he's like a German folklore demon.
I see.
And I think he's going to be the final villain of Nocturne, because it's probably going to get 4 seasons, like the first one.
Well, regardless, I feel like Maria's positioned to be on like a villain arc, and I hope she does.
Fucking dusting the abbot.
Dude.
Awesome.
That may have been the best episode.
Yeah.
That was fucking sick. She summons the dragon. Her hair is going crazy.
I love hair down Maria.
Yeah.
great. It's way better than Hair Up Maria.
Yeah, Maria was sick.
They also did like such, and like this is like kind of a tie back to Blue Lock. They did such a good job with eyes this season.
Yeah.
Like, you can just like see her, like her character design slowly but surely getting like darker lines as she like begins to lose it, and her eyes going crazy. Oh man, it was so good, dude. I
really
loved
good.
her arc.
Really good. I loved Alucard getting excited about seeing Da Vinci's work. That was cute.
That was cute.
The museum fight goes so hard.
Yeah.
The museum fights are really
just
good.
Rip it around and everything. Yeah, that was awesome.
I wrote Aurochs and Mizrak are completely irrelevant. I kind of don't like them.
Okay. I unpacked that for me, Chieftain.
They just show up to have the same conversation the entire season, which is like, we're in love, but you're a vampire, and so we can't be in love. They do that for like 5 minutes, and then they depart, and they both contribute nothing to the plot, except at the end when Aurochs, like, takes aggro from Drolta.
Yeah.
That's all.
He takes aggro from Drolta, and then he has to save Mizrak, because Mizrak gets stabbed in the battle against...
Right, but if one irrelevant character is saving another irrelevant character, then what's really happening?
Aurochs is like one of my favorite characters of the entire show.
He's cool conceptually, he just doesn't...
His story is so dope, and like Richter facing him down at the end, and like Aurochs like being there, and he's like, I'll kill you one day, Aurochs.
Right.
Today's not that day. Oh!
Yeah, one day you'll become relevant.
It's a build-up. It's going to be a 4-season show. Oh, man, it was so good. For my Mizrak and Aurochs notes, I said, first off, I said, didn't expect Maria to turn into Prime Gilgamesh. You won't get that. But I said Prime Gilgamesh meets Daenerys. And I said, this fight against Urz is one of the better animated things I've seen. Got the chills when Aurochs showed up. And then I said, the gays. And then teary eyes. Because it was Aurochs being like, Mizrak, I need to save your life. And I was like, oh, the gays. But then later on, I said, damn, Maria got friend zoned. And then I said, the gays. And it was a zip mouth emoji because Mizrak was like, no, I'm a vampire now.
Right.
And he was like, I have to deal with this for the rest of my life. And I was like, no.
I love when Mizrak is like endless torture with no release. I'm scared, Aurochs. Yeah. And then Aurochs is just like, I wouldn't think about it. It's just like, I wouldn't worry about that.
You're not going to have to worry about it for a long time.
Yeah, like,
the conversations around hell for everybody who helps the abbot is so cool to me. Because, like, the entire reason that the abbot is, like, still going around with Erzsébet is, like, he's like, oh, I'm building these night creatures to build an army for God. And then I realized they could never touch her, like, her power. And he's like, so now I just, like, I know I'll go to hell if I die, so I need to stay alive. Yeah. And then just, like, that genuine fear of hell in his face when you just see Maria fucking dust him. Oh my God, it was so good.
No, it's the reason I love Vinland Saga. It's the reason I love Orb on the movements of the earth. I love seeing, like, old school religious people, like, really believe the shit they believe. Yeah. Like, nowadays, like, people believe in hell, but I feel like they don't really think about it that much.
No.
And no one thinks they're personally going to hell. And so it's cool getting a look into, like, okay, there's this religion based on, like, if you do bad deeds, you go to hell. Yeah. And so that's able to manipulate people into, like, being corrupt or, like, doing things they, like, that hurts other people, but they think it's for the greater good. And then it's cool seeing someone, like, confront the consequences of their own
fucking punishment. Yeah. That's like, hey, man, just do a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Do a Hail Mary before you go. Like,
that's what I mean. It's cool seeing, like, true religion where it's not just like, oh, you just wash it off with a couple of Our Fathers.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that was like true. Like, before it was like we dumbed down religion so that everyone could feel good about being in it. Yeah. Like back when it was like you were conscripted into religion. If you didn't live that way, like you were fucked. Yeah. There was no like, oh well, accept Jesus as my Lord and Savior, and it's like, cool, you killed people your entire life.
Yeah, back when shit was real like Warhammer-esque, and everyone was itching to make an example out of somebody else.
Oh man, I can't believe you don't like. I can't believe you don't like Aurochs and Mizrak. They're not like that important to the season, but I love them.
Aurochs
also,
is
Mizrak is one of the hottest men in animated.
He's so boring looking. What are you talking about? He's just a regular ass dude.
All right, I'll pose you this question: who's the hottest man in Castlevania?
In Castlevania,
Nocturne.
Probably Alucard or Aurochs. I like the long hair.
Okay, you just want the most feminine presenting man you can possibly find.
I think it's Aurochs.
Yeah.
He's just so cool.
He is cool. He's cool. He's got piercing green eyes.
Just real fucking cool.
Yep.
I'm annoyed by Aurochs because he's so cool conceptually. and just only shows up to have that one conversation over and over again. Like, I want to be like, this dude's one of the sickest animated characters ever.
I think he's going to pop up more in season 3. Because the end of the season being like, oh, all the characters splitting up is so classic Castlevania. Yeah. That is absolutely... Castlevania will be like, oh, look, everyone's together. And they're like, well, we can't. It's like One Piece. Yeah. Can't keep everyone together because then shit will get figured out too quickly. Yeah. So them all splitting up, like Olrox and Mizrek are going to like stay in France kind of thing. And I think they're actually going to serve as like they might even go back like to like the New World. I think at some point, because like Olrox is talking about the New World. He's talking about how they laughed at the Spanish when they got off their boats kind of thing. And I could absolutely see Olrox and Mizrek going back as like Avengers against the Spanish in the New World.
I'd love that. I saw some comments of people saying that in some Castlevania timeline, it goes all the way up to World War II.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. That'd be so sick. I love Castlevania being treated like Assassin's Creed because it's more interesting because there's vampires.
Absolutely.
Like, I love the idea of like, it being like, okay, the world's like this in this area. I wonder what it's like in Japan. Yeah. Like, what are vampires in Japan like? And I like to not...
And Alucard's always there.
Well, Nocturne... Yeah, and it's always Alucard. Yeah. Nocturne's doing a great job with people like Olrox and even Sekhmet in being like, okay, we're globetrotting and there's vampires everywhere, but they're not all the same kind of vampires. Yeah. Some turn into lions for some reason. Some turn into flying dragons. Like,
yeah, and also Sekhmet's temple has this weird fucking tentacle, like ass, like lion monster thing that we have to battle against for all an episode.
Like, it would get boring if all the vampires had the same classic vampire abilities all over the world.
Yeah, like Alucard's really the only one that turns into bats because he is from...
Transylvania.
Yeah,
Batsylvania.
He's like a standard run-of-the-mill vampire, but the rest of them are like all very different because of where they come from and like who they are.
I have in the museum fight, Richter slingshots himself into a monster's spine. That's pretty fucking sick.
That was sick, dude.
That was really good. I have holy fucking shit. That's a fucking awesome hat. There's a guy who comes out and he's got candles all around his the brim of his hat.
Yeah, Papa Legba.
Blew me away.
Papa Legba's got a great hat.
Yeah. I got Sliced is a cutie. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Helping Richter with women troubles. I think I meant Alucard and it corrected it to Sliced.
Nice, good.
This woman is literally boxing this fucking dragon. Yeah, when Doltra or whatever is fighting the dragon, and they're fucking like throwing hands with each other. That was cool.
Doltra's a menace at the end of the season.
Yeah. How did Alucard get stabbed by his own sword? Richter turning Alucard's sword into a bigger sword is such a fucking insult.
What do you mean?
Just like Alucard gives Richter his sword. It's hype. And then Richter's like, nah, I need more sword. And then makes it thicker.
I don't remember that at all. I remember getting an Alucard sword. I don't remember it getting bigger.
He fucking covers it in ice. He turns into a great sword.
Dude, he turned it into the moonlight.
Yeah, Moonlight Greatsword.
Yeah, he moved into the Moonlight Greatsword. That was awesome.
Him cutting Drolta in half was unbelievably sick. It was so good. It was like equal parts My Hero. They're doing a lot of My Hero shit where like he'll summon his sword and it's just like a ball of lightning, like doing a twirl. And then it was equal parts Dragon Ball where they do like the split vision.
Yep. They did do the split vision. Yeah. You're right. Oh my God, I forgot about that, dude.
Yeah, the end of 8 was fucking incredible.
No, I was like Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the TV the second he turned into the Moonlight Greatsword. I was like, I can't do the whistle, but I was like, oh my God, this is the thing. That's my favorite sword in history.
No, all of that was awesome.
Did you ever get the real Moonlight Greatsword, or did you kill the guy who was like walking around with the Moonlight Greatsword and find out later that it was the fake Moonlight Greatsword?
I don't know what game you're talking about. What do you mean? Because it's in every Souls game.
Is it really?
Yeah.
The Moonlight Greatsword is in every single Souls game?
Yeah.
I think I'm talking Dark Souls 3. There was a guy who would walk around. There was an NPC who walked around with the Moonlight Greatsword. And I was like, it was like, you can just kill him. It was like, you can just kill that guy and he'll drop the Moonlight Greatsword. And I was like, cool. I don't give too many shits about this NPC that I won't kill him for the sword. But apparently, that's not the real Moonlight Greatsword. This might be Dark Souls 2 or Dark Souls 3. But if you kill him, you don't get the real one. You have to do a quest line for it.
Crazy. Yeah, it's in Bloodborne. It's in Elden Ring.
It's in Elden Ring?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Everyone uses it with their Ranny build.
Yeah.
Their Lonnie build. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So good show.
Rating. On the season. You sound like a drone. You sound like a competition flying drone there.
I want to do like 8.5 or 9. There's like bits where it was like dragging a bit for me.
Really?
And it's no Arcane.
Okay.
Season 2
That's
still.
simply just not true. It is absolutely every bit of show that Arcane season 2 was.
There's just no character I would like cry for. Annette almost died and I was kind of hyped about it. I was like, whoa, lasting consequences. She is my favorite, but I was like, whoa, that'd be like a bold decision to make. But like, if Richter died, I wouldn't give a shit. And like, Maria's getting cooler.
Yeah.
But there's no one I'm like emotionally really attached to like I was in Arcane. And also there's like some bits where it's
but
like...
you also have a lasting... You already had like a pre-existing connection to a lot of those characters. Like you see Warwick show up and you're like, oh yeah, hell yeah, that's the guy I do.
That definitely helps. Yeah, that is the guy I do. But it's like... And there's bits that like drag for me where it's like they're just kind of like having a repetitive conversation about how like Sekhmet's gonna be the best and we're threatening you warlocks. Oh, we can't kiss Mizrak. You're Christian. And so yeah, but 8.5 to 9
and
is
Jinx and fucking
Jinx and Vi are repetitive
Jinx
too.
and Vi
yeah.
are never like we need to be sisters. We can't be sisters.
That's fair. Jinx and Vi get annoying too, but I don't know. 8.5 to 9 is like a reasonable one, I'd say.
Do like a 9.4 on the season.
Yeah,
this was my favorite thing in years.
What's taken off 0.6?
Just like because it's just not a perfect 10. Like I don't know, like I couldn't tell you. Like it's just like, but I'm not like oh my god, that was like perfect, right?
I respect that so much. People will be like, oh, you only said positive things about it. Why is it a 9? And it's like, you feel a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like when you leave and you're like, no, it's perfect, incredible. Even if I don't have notes and all I have are positive things, you can still be on that plane of like, oh, it didn't like floor me.
I don't know if I could tell you genuinely a thing that I would give a 10 out of 10 to.
Oh, really?
I don't like, man, what's a thing that you would give a 10 out of 10 to? In the anime world, maybe.
In the anime world, Madoka Magica. I don't think I have any notes for that show.
That's really fair.
Yeah.
That's very, Madoka Magica's fucking awesome.
It helps that it's so tight.
Yeah.
Like it's 11 episodes, so there's not a lot of room to fail.
I forget that it's 11 episodes.
Yeah.
Of that. Thinking about that conceptually, how much they pack into 11 episodes is like, what episode does Mommy die? Like 2?
3.
Yeah, like that's crazy. Like it's like, oh, consequences are already here, and like now we have to battle against Walpurgisnacht.
Yeah,
and it's like, by the way,
yeah, true.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, there's a giant god witch that you're never gonna be able to defeat, and but we're going back in time.
I know, I forgot about fucking Donnie Wahlberg or whatever its name is.
Yeah, Walpurgisnacht.
Yeah, Walpurgisnacht. Yeah. Yeah, it helps that it's so short because it's like so dense. And yeah, within anime is tough because anime is typically pretty
Okay, what's
long.
a movie you would give a 10 out of 10?
Saltburn.
Saltburn?
I fucking love Saltburn.
Love Saltburn, dude. I don't know if I'd give that's a high 9 movie for sure.
I'd give Scott Pilgrim's like a perfect movie to me. There's like movies where I'm like, this is like The Social Network. I really think it's 10 out of 10. Where I'm just like, Gone Girl, I really like. We're just from beginning to end, I'm hooked. And there's no moment where I'm like I've seen Gone Girl like 12 times.
Yeah.
Never check my phone during it.
Like Howl's Moving Castle is my favorite movie of all time. I don't even know if I would give it a 10 out of 10 because there's parts where it drags.
What's something that like hasn't dragged for you? Where you're just like, I'm in this whole time. Like I think Spider-Verse 1 is also a 10 for me.
I'm trying to think of like genuinely my favorite movie of all time, and I don't like a movie that I could watch a million times over and I would never get sick of it.
I'm trying to think of like things you
I
love.
want to say Den of Thieves. I fucking love Den of Thieves, dude.
I mean, that's fair.
It's a great movie.
I think a perfect movie, a perfect 10 out of 10 can be of any genre.
Yeah.
So like if like Fast and the Furious 5, for example,
Too Fast, Too Furious?
If Too Fast, Too Furious
Yeah.
is like just balls to the wall, like good, exciting content.
Yeah.
It's the best that a Fast and the Furious can be. Like, give that a 10.
That's
whatever,
10 out of 10
you know?
racing movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a crime racing movie, that's 10 out of 10. Straight action, a bank heist, Den of Thieves, great movie.
Yeah.
Fuck, man, I don't know.
Like a 10 out of 10 can be, it just has to be perfect for what it's achieving.
Because now that we're talking about, like, I was like, oh, my favorite anime arc of all time is the Chimera Ant arc. But, like, even that I acknowledge is, like, it gets a little long at times.
Is there something you've played or watched and you're like, I can't see it getting better from this? Because that's
Witcher
what...
3.
All right.
Witcher 3 to me is a 10 out of 10. There's nothing wrong with that game.
Yeah.
The DLCs, Blood and Wine, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like to me, Witcher 3 is the perfect execution of a video game. Elden Ring is also as close as I've gotten in a video game. Baldur's Gate 3 is also as close. Like those are the three to me. If I had to say 10 out of 10 video games, those are the three.
I think a good way to judge a 10 out of 10 is if you play it and you're like, if they made a Baldur's Gate 4, a Witcher 4, a blank, they would need to like pull off a miracle to make it better. Yeah. Like this is firing on all cylinders. I am excited for Witcher 4, but I'm in the same where I'm like, man, you guys did a lot. Like you did a lot good here.
Between Witcher 1, 2, and 3
Yeah.
Like it's just like Witcher 1 and 2 are fine games. Mass Effect 2.
Mass Effect 2 is pretty,
another 10 out of 10 game.
Yeah, pretty perfect.
But boy, did they not stick that landing.
Yeah, you can't really relate to this because you didn't play it, but I felt this way with Spider-Man 2 on the PS5, where I was like, dude, what's even left for the third one? Like, this is just balls to the wall.
This is the most recent one.
Yeah, I was like, this is just wall-to-wall great Spider-Man content. Like, I'm satiated. People were like, oh, it's only like 18 or like 12 hours, whatever. And I'm like, I'm done. Like, I finished it, and I was like, good, delicious, next.
Yeah. I don't even like, are they busting out the Sinister Six? Like, who do you beat in the second one?
Venom, and he gets like wings, and it's crazy, and like, but the story's so fucking layered, where it's like, Harry gets the symbiote and he's using it for like as like an Agent Venom thing where it's like armor, it's not like turning him into Venom.
Gotcha.
And he's like, I'm just like you, Spider-Man. You're like, that's so sick. And Kraven the Hunter is here and he's looking for like the deadliest prey.
Yeah.
And it's making like the lizard show up because Kraven's hunting him and like Rhino and stuff.
Oh, so they do like all of the Sinister Six.
Well, so they're doing all of it, but it's all like the momentum's great because it's like Kraven shows up. So that makes like all these other villains show up because they're like running from Kraven.
Yeah.
And so you're getting caught in the crossfire. And then Kraven like kidnaps Miles because he's like, I need to fight and kill Spider-Man. So I'll kidnap Miles to weed him out. Miles breaks out, and then the symbiote gets onto Peter, and he's like pissed that Miles got kidnapped. That turns him into Venom, and it's just like one thing piling on top of another, and Venom kills Kraven, spoiler.
Oh my God.
And it's just one thing on top of another, but it all seamlessly like flows into each other.
Yeah.
And that was like, I was like, this is a perfect narrative.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was so sick.
Yeah, those are the three video games, like maybe even like, oh man, Elder Scrolls Online. What a fun game,
Whoa.
dude. If you asked me when I was like 12, I'd say World of Warcraft.
That's fair.
Oh my God. Those were the fucking days, dude.
Do you have an anime that's 10 out of 10?
I mean, Madoka's up there.
Yeah.
I want to say Angel Beats.
Interesting.
It's very good. It just holds a huge part of my heart. It's also tight, like it's 12 episodes. Man, I started Amos on Assassination Classroom, and I was like, what a joy this watching.
Yeah.
Hunter x Hunter, I would say, like, because here's the thing, I could critique parts of Hunter x Hunter, but it's only like if you watch Hunter x Hunter in the right mood. But the problem is it doesn't end, right? There's no ending. Like there is an ending to the story, but you know there's more. So like, I can't give it a 10 out of 10. Fuck, man. Farmland Saga.
Yeah.
Right. Second season of Vinland Saga feels like the closest to a 10 out of 10 I've watched.
I'd give Chainsaw Man season 1 a
It's
10
up there.
out of 10. That's pretty good. It starts a little slow, but like, yeah. I mean, if we're really like, I'd
Because
say
when we watched Farmland Saga, we're like, oh, this is like literal art.
Yeah.
Like we're like, this has gone beyond the medium in which it's
Frieren.
fucking Frieren. Yeah.
You always call that one art.
Frieren is really good. Once again, I just feel so weird giving it a 10 out of 10 because like Frieren, like there is like it can get a little boring at times.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the issue. Is like, but like I enjoy the world so much. I love being in it, but it's like a 9.8, 9.7. I just like to get to that 10 is so difficult.
That's what I mean. Like, yeah, The Witcher's a good one. Baldur's Gate's a good one because there's never. I give Baldur's Gate a 9 because I like Divinity's combat more. If you didn't play Divinity, it's hard to relate. But like, Baldur's Gate's annoying because it has D&D combat where you can only do one spell or action like per turn, and you have to long rest. Unless you're a monk, and you have to long rest to get them back, and it just feels so like restrictive and annoying. And Divinity is like the same combat, but you can whip out like you could be fucking flinging spells, and it's just a lot more fun. It's different.
If you're looking for crowd control, 4-player run around.
Baldur's Gate's annoying because I'll be like, okay, you need to act like all 4 of your party members are one character.
Yeah.
Like if I'm like, I want to throw oil and then ignite it.
Yeah.
I can't do that with the same turn and guy. I have to be like, all right, throw oil. Now my friend who's an archer, can you use a fire arrow and blow that up?
Did you beat Baldur's Gate?
No.
You didn't get high enough level. You can absolutely, once you get high enough level, you can do multiple actions.
Oh, really? I
100%.
got to like Act 2.
No, once you get like high enough level, once you get like level 10-ish, like you
that
can
helps.
like, or like even like level 7, you can do multiple actions.
Interesting.
Yeah, you can bust out like 3-4 spells in one attack.
Yeah, maybe it's just too slow of a burn in terms of like, I didn't get to it.
I think it's easier for me to get to a video game as 10 out of 10 than an anime, just because like I can get so deep, way deeper into a video game's world than you can ever do with an anime, and that's why like I like in a sense I keep it at an arm's length.
Let me see. People are saying Final Fantasy VII.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Armored Core 6. I didn't play that, but I can see that being a 10 out of 10. Mob Psycho 100. Season 1's.
No, that's close.
It's close.
Here's the thing. Over the course of, the longer it gets, the harder it is for it to be a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. It's not. A 10 out of 10 doesn't need to be like actually. I don't know, because I was going to be like, well, Mob Psycho's first season isn't as good as season 2, but I think a ramp can still qualify 100%. A 10 out of 10.
I would say the closest above 24 episode anime to a 10 out of 10, FMAB, Mob Psycho, and Freyrinx is 28 episodes. Like those would be like the 3 that I'd be like, oh, these are the 3 anime above 24 episodes that stand the highest chance of being a legitimate 10 out of 10.
How about Gurren Lagann?
No, I can't get past episode 7.
Yeah, Mob Psycho, people are saying.
Mob Psycho's a really good answer.
If we ever finished Ranking of Kings, I bet we'd put it on there.
Oh shit, yeah. We never watched season 2.
No.
I don't know why.
But I buy that.
If you wanted to say season 1 of Ranking of Kings, I could talk myself into giving that a 10 out of 10.
Ranking of Kings had some of the most. I'll literally never forget the moment where I forget their names, but like the snake guy.
Gotcha, yeah.
Like the snake guard is like doing a coup against Bochi, and he shows up at like the bird, like the hawk nose guy, and he just meets him in a plane.
Yeah.
And they look at each other, and the guy with the hawk nose like just takes off his bag, and they just like start circling each other, and they fight, and it's a crazy quick fight. And the snake guy gets defeated, and the hawk nose guy just leaves.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
That blew me away because it was just like, I love that they know each other so well that just him seeing him where he's not supposed to be, he's like, oh, this is it, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is what this is.
We've been waiting on this.
Yeah, like he knows what the deal is. And the fight's so quick and vicious and efficient that you're like, oh, even though that wasn't the flashiest thing, I just like buy that these two guys could protect anyone from anything except each other.
Exactly. To me, there's the Bochi versus his father when he's hitting the weak points of his father's club and his father's club explodes. And there's like Bochi running along the wall and shit. That's a moment that like to me sticks with it. Oh man, that is, honestly, I'd say if you wanted to say a season of anime is a 10 out of 10, if it's not the Farmland Saga season, it's season 1 of Ranking of Kings, because that's a fucking awesome show.
Okay, last question, and then we'll talk about other things. We're an hour in already.
Yep.
What's a 10 out of 10, perchance even 11 out of 10 episode?
I mean, episode 7 of Castlevania's up there.
I figured.
The Gojo versus Sukuna battle is up there for sure.
Gojo versus Sukuna.
Yeah.
Whoa, not...
Jogo. I'm sorry, Jogo versus Sukuna.
Oh, right. Yeah. I was gonna say
that's like the cross, cut in half building. Like he's like the giant fireballs heading at Panda, and he's like and they all run.
That's pretty good. Maharaga's pretty great.
That's another great episode.
The aquarium from JJK.
The aquarium episode from JJK is one of the most beautifully directed pieces of animated like the TV I've ever seen. I
could watch Naruto fight Sasuke, the first fight, forever.
I'd go another way and say Obito versus Kakashi is another fucking 11 out of 10 episode.
That's a good one. Gaara and Rock Lee is great. It's hard to pick a specific episode just because I'd have to rewatch it.
Yeah.
But like Demon Slayer season 2's got at least one perfect Like the entertainment district.
Okay, yeah.
Has at least one perfect
Episode 11, I think, is like when it's like Tengen versus Gyotaro. It's like the final push. He's like, I've got my musical score.
Yeah.
That episode, absolutely.
I like the episode where Nezuko starts going nuts and he has to like muzzle her with his sword. That's like heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm. Hunter x Hunter, there's a couple of really good ones. Komogi and Meruem's final moments is I will watch to the day I die. The Krollo Symphony episode, Uvagin versus Kurapika is an incredible episode. Man, there's so many good ones. I'm trying to think of like one from FMAB.
Oh, man.
Pride versus the Tank.
Pride versus the Tank.
Dude, that entire episode is crazy.
Dude, that where the tank is running from him.
From a dude with a sword?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck, I forgot that. That's really good. I really like Ed in Gluttony. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Like, because that's him like just fucking problem solving and fighting envy. People really like Mustang killing Lust, and it is a cool bit. God, there's a lot.
There's a lot of good episodes.
I forgot about the tank. The tank's really good.
What would the one from Vinland Saga be? Vinland Saga to me feels like more like a collection of good memories.
Yeah. Vinland Saga is a marathon.
Right?
It's not like an intermittent, it's not a high intensity run.
It's just like a good burn the entire time.
Yeah.
That's what's interesting. Is like you can think about like really specific moments from like really popular anime and like, oh, this is what made it great. We talked about something similar like this where I was talking about the best anime episode of 2024, and a lot of people said One Piece fan letter, that is absolutely up there. It should be.
Daniel broke down to me like what it is, like just explained the episode to me. Sounds awesome.
It's really, really
sounds
good.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, just fun. Just a fun podcast.
Just what a gig. What a gig we have.
I just like shit like this. Like what's 10 out of 10 and we rattle it off. It's the same with the like I like posing a question and then we do like a bunch of probable answers. Mm-hmm. That's my favorite format of this podcast.
One Piece would probably be like Ace's death, maybe like Luffy defeating Doflamingo, the unlocking of Gear 5. There's One Piece is kind of like with Vinland Saga, where it's like the journey is the reason you watch it. Like there is good episodes, but like because of the pacing, unfortunately, like there's not like really one episode where you're like, oh, enough has been packed in this to call it an 11 out of 10 episode.
You know, it's an 11 out of 10 episode that came out this past season. Can you guess?
When Laios' sister turns into a dragon in Delicious in Dungeon? No. Oh my God. Aura, kill yourself.
Aura, kill yourself. Why do I know that? No.
Oh, come on. Aura, kill yourself was hard.
Well,
dude.
that one. I mean, like, can you guess the one I'm thinking of?
Yeah, I'm trying to guess right now. Aura, kill yourself. You didn't finish Freyrin, did you?
No.
So you don't see her fight herself? Oh my God.
I've seen the kill yourself. That one goes hard.
Aura, kill yourself is
this past season, like the one we were just in.
Oh, the one we were just. Oh, I mean, Blue Lock.
Yeah, it's Blue Lock.
Episode. Yeah.
10 out of 10.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that blew me away.
There's definitely a couple in Haikyuu as well.
Oh, really?
Haikyuu's got great episodes, dude.
That's so interesting because volleyball isn't as
intense as soccer. Way more.
No, it's not as. It's more start and stop than soccer.
I guess. Yeah. But they do like long points and shit, and it's like, oh, are they gonna? Who's gonna get it? Like, is Nishinoya gonna get under it or some shit? It's great.
Just seems hard to make like passing. You know, in volleyball, you got to do like a couple of bump ups, and that seems hard to make that intense.
Oh, they do.
Okay.
They do. They make it very quickly. All right, cool. We will now move on to the other things that we need to talk about
Solo?
here. Let me do my Owl House corner here real quick here. I said the collector is in a beast ball, question mark?
Yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah.
And yes, he is.
I can't believe you didn't notice that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you literally have one on your desk.
Yeah, that's so funny.
I also said the animation in season 3 gets like crazy fluid.
Yeah.
Like almost uncomfortably fluid. Like it's like you ever see like animation that's too high frame rate and you're like
Amity and Lou's kissing. Yeah. When she goes crikey, if you've seen that already, that's fluid as fuck. It's weird. There's too many frames in it.
I feel like life doesn't happen that quickly. Like, can we slow down here?
Yeah, she kisses her and she's like, whoa. Yeah. And I'm like, did you just turn into a goddamn liquid?
Yeah,
like,
dude, it's like a person. It's a person there. So I'm halfway through the third episode of season 3. So the last episode of season 3. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the show's long enough.
Yeah.
You sit on this throne and you're like, this show needs to be 5 seasons. They did a fantastic job closing. Like this story is as long as it needs to be, to me at least.
I've So you're taking out the nuance of what I've said, which is they did an incredible job at wrapping up in a way that feels natural.
Yeah.
Considering they were canceled. Like, she wanted more seasons, and I genuinely think if it went to like 4 or 5, this would be better than Avatar: The Last Airbender for me. Dude, it's so... Episode 3, like this final episode is a 10 out of 10, actually. That's one of mine. Like, it is the best ending to a show I have ever seen. It goes so hard. Avatar, Aang fighting Ozai is also probably like a good 10 out of 10.
That is a good 10 out of 10 for sure.
He's doing a lot of cool shit.
Dude, the Fire Nation invading the Southern Water Tribe.
Oh, actually, yeah, there's a lot of good ones. That one's good. I like the drill a lot.
Yep.
When he fights the drill. Avatar's got a lot of them. I like Ba Sing Se, Jet. Jet's first episode is really cool.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man, this kid, this is the coolest person I've ever seen in my entire life.
They like stop an old man on the side of the road, and Jet's like, you know what to do with him, kill him. And Sokka's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, the Owl House. So yeah, it does. If you don't know it was canceled, it feels like enough time.
Yeah.
But when you take into consideration that King is going on there's so many great moments where people are like Titan protect us as they go into battle, and King hears it and he's like, I'll try.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
He is dealing with such complex emotions no one can relate to. And it's such a crazy, awesome concept that like they're all living on his dead ancestor, praying to that ancestor, but also every time someone offhandedly is like, oh my God, or thank God, or this or that, he kind of feels the weight of that because they don't realize it, but they are expecting him to do something.
Yeah.
That needs a whole extra season.
That's fair.
To explore. Like,
but do you want him to like slowly but surely grow into a Titan?
No, like I don't need that, but that is like the concept of someone like if you found out you were Jesus, like you were the son of Jesus biologically.
I am.
Right. If it came out rather.
Yeah.
If you came out as that, you don't think that would require like, oh, like there's so much potential for development and like interesting shit for that.
If I found out I was the son of God, I would spend the rest of my time disparaging the God I came from. I would destroy the organized religion built around my father's name.
Yeah.
I would be like, absolutely. Here's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
First tenet, guys, trans people just get to tell you what to do. I'm sorry. That's just how it works. I don't fucking.
We're doing reverse Christianity this time.
I'm flipping it and reversing it, baby.
Well, that's interesting. Like if King rebels and he's like loses, like I talked to your dad, and he's like, what the fuck? You talked to my dad? He never talked to me. Like, you know what? Everything everyone thinks about the Titan, I'm making the opposite now. Like I'm gonna tear his name down. And then he finds out that like, oh, for whatever reason, like he shouldn't have been doing that, or like the Titan means something positive to people.
We don't even really find out why the Titan is immune to the Collector's magic, do we? I mean, I still have 25 minutes left in the episode, but I don't think it's ever established. Like King has that little medallion, right? That like makes him invisible to the Collector.
Yeah.
But like we never really established why the Titans are immune to the Collector's magic.
I don't know. Well, you learn that the Collector hunted down the Titans.
That we know, yes.
And so I guess you can just make the assumption that, well, the Titan...
There's also a lot of Collector lore that could be unpacked.
An outrageous amount
like an
of
entire race of people that spread across the universe, and like if the people don't fall, they have to collect all the like species, and if they don't fall in line, they get destroyed. But like this child's Collector just wanted to be friends with everybody.
Yeah.
That's
what I mean. There's like, it's not that it isn't enough.
No, I see where you're coming from.
But if there were 2 more seasons, I'm not like, this is milking it.
Are you not happy that it, like, I'd always rather a show, though, ends a season early than a season too late.
No, that's definitely for the best.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to, like, have, like, pouty kid syndrome. It's like you give a kid a great Christmas, you can't win because you'll want the next one to be really good. Or you'll, like, get all these presents, and then inevitably you open the last one, you're like, well, where's the next one? I want this dopamine forever.
Yeah.
Like... anyone experiencing high dopamine is never going to want it to end.
Yeah.
So it is for the best that the Owl House ends on a high, but I'll never shut up about
how
wanting
much you want
more.
more. Yeah, it's incredibly fair.
I will say the way it ends, like literally the last 15 seconds is genius and enough to satiate the fandom forever.
Really?
It ends in a way that's so clever and so strategic that like I could go with no more canonical Owl House for the rest of my life.
Crazy.
Yeah. You'll see.
Awesome. For those of you who don't know, I mean, I've been posting on my Instagram, but Neutron got really sick this last week. And so Neutron wasn't eating, he wasn't drinking, he's 9 years old, he's a big dog. And I was like, cool, I'm gonna lose my first dog. And so I dropped Neutron off at the ER. It was like, I hadn't slept in a couple of days because he hadn't slept in a couple of days. I was a fucking mess. I was like, I'm gonna get a workout in, I'm gonna get my head off this, and I'm gonna watch some Owl House while I do it. And they just
oh no,
and I was like, cool, I'm gonna enjoy myself. It's episode 2. I really like the show. It's my comfort show recently. And Second Plane hit the Flapjack Tower because what the fuck? They Flapjack, one of the most underspoken, empathetic characters of this entire fucking show, who's spent this entire has been along with Hunter on this entire Zuko journey. Like Hunter slowly but surely being humanized by the existence of his palisman, just gets pierced through the chest by Ghoul Bellows, and just like in a Dead by Daylight ass like elimination, like just like hooked, and then you see Flapjack just like leaking green blood, hopping over to Hunter, who's unconscious at this moment, and just dissolving into his chest. And I'm just on my bike, openly sobbing. I was just like, this is not the episode.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. Neutron's fine, by the way.
Thank God. Yeah.
Yep.
Did you think they'd, 1, kill off characters in Disney's The Owl House, and 2, do it to the animal sidekick?
That was wild.
Yeah.
I just said he hurt Flapjack, and then I said Camilla saving Hunter almost made me cry, and then I said Flapjack, no, because Camilla is the unsung hero of season 3.
Yeah.
A lot of characters get really good plot development. Unfortunately, I feel a couple of them are rushed, and this speaks to the fact that it ended too soon. Like Willow. Like I feel like Willow does like this kind of like, oh, like her plant magic is taking her over kind of thing. She's like the leader, and like they kind of like throw the leader thing in with like the flyer derby thing, but like Willow's never really the leader. No. Like she just kind of starts acting as the anchor in season 3, and I've always loved Willow as a character, but like she's not really like, she's kind of like shoehorned in there. And like Willow and Hunter's romance I understand, but it's not nearly as like done like as well and fleshed out as I thought it could be.
Yeah, the side characters need some more time and work, because there are like long stretches where you forget Gus exists.
Yeah. Those are the best stretches in the entire show. Those are my favorite moments.
I know you hate Gus.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, I haven't heard Gus in a while.
I love the idea of Willow being like, come on, guys, I gotta stay strong. You're all relying on me to keep this group's morale up. And I love Amity to be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Whoa, I forgot you were here.
Yeah, you're never around. We don't rely on you to keep us cheery. What are you talking about, you psycho?
So, but like at the same time, Hunter, like his exposition, his storytelling has been really, really good. Like his character arc has been awesome. But genuinely, I think from season 3, the best completion of a character development arc, Camilla.
Yeah.
Camilla begins the show as like kind of the bad guy. Like Camilla's like, oh, I'm sending my child to the conformatorium. Yeah. But then slowly but surely through the end of season 2 and season 3, it gets revealed that like Camilla like was like a weird kid growing up, and like she got put in weird situations because of it. She'd make a lot of friends, and then there's the loss of Manny, like her husband loses like father and that kind of thing. And like she's had to deal with like, oh, like I don't want to like lose to go down the same like similar path as me. And like I brought us to Gravefield for the fancy hospital, and how did that work out? And then just Camilla, like you see her like trying to like study what these kids from the demon realm like are gonna eat, and Camilla's trying to be a single mom raising 6 children. Yeah. And like as somebody who has a single mother, and as somebody who like my mom like brought in my friends who were like in bad family situations and they lived with us, like it reminded me a lot of my mom. And so like when I saw Camilla like genuinely show fear for Hunter being in danger, I was like, oh, this is like, I felt in that moment, I was like, oh, this is a well-written character with a rounded character development arc. And I was like, because she goes from antagonist to protagonist who's just throwing baseball bats at demons.
Yeah.
Like she's a fucking great character. And that's the thing, is like I think Dan Terrace is like a very underrated character development. Like everyone looks at Owl House like, oh, that DEI fucking, oh, like oh the main character is a Hispanic bi girl who ends up dating some like a witch, and like every like, oh, Willow's got 2 dads. Like it's like fantastically written story that never like leans on any of the aspects that like people would be like, oh, like this like I'm anti-woke, like would want to like focus on. Like it's just like individual stories, well written, like about like human tragedy. And like sure, like falls along the lines of like some diversity, but like it's true like through lines that anybody can relate to. Like Camilla's a fucking Hispanic mother, but I was like, I see my mother in her, you know? And so like I so good. Season 3 has been awesome. I said not the episode to watch while Neutron is sick, and then I said, yeah, Camilla's character arc is very good.
Yeah, you got to tell me when you finish episode 3 because it's fucking incredible.
It'll be today.
Oh, true. Yeah, I'll go work out and
yeah. I actually am probably gonna film a video after this, but yeah. All right, cool. Do we want to talk about solo leveling?
Yeah.
My first note of this episode is one of my least favorite things about solo leveling is how fast Jinwoo blitzes from E to S rank.
I was thinking that where I like. My knee-jerk reaction was to be like, oh, well, so the first season was kind of a waste of time. Why don't we just start here? Yeah. But I guess it's nice to see, like, the progression of an E rank. But yeah, I agree, where it's like, you watch something like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and even though it ends with Ed, like, becoming a master alchemist, the progression being like 60 episodes is so satisfying and so natural. And you're like, I buy that even though he's so young, this kid is smart enough and like traumatized enough to get up to like S rank alchemist. Yeah. And it would be cool to see him like be a master for like another couple of years or whatever. But, like, yeah, there is a value in seeing that climb. Like, I wish it took him until, like, season 5 or something.
Yeah.
Like,
and the thing is, it's all about the power fantasy. And also, like, the thing about solo leveling is that, like, the scale eventually scales so far beyond even what S ranks can accomplish. And so it's like he has to hit S rank because S rank is not the end goal.
Right.
It's like he has to go far, far and beyond S rank because bigger and badder enemies that, like, get introduced couldn't even be taken care of with the highest of levels of S ranks.
Are there, I mentioned this before, but right now.
$1 bill. What have you done?
I've destroyed your symbol of greed and corruption.
Capitalistic structure is getting tumbled down.
I've asked you this before and ignored the answer.
Okay.
Right now, it's just a lot of, I go to a dungeon and I fight like a random, like, you know, C tier nonsense, like goon. Yeah. Or big, like, Pokemon monster. Yeah. Will we get like a Frieza or like a Pain? Like a villain that defines an arc or like defines the anime. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's going to be a lot. This entire season is going to be more dungeons.
But it's like with the dungeons, it's like right now it feels like Bleach, early Bleach, where they're just fighting hollows and it's like Hollow of the Week. And then they find what is essentially like the evil Soul Society. And you get like a villain like Grimmjow that people will like cosplay as.
Or
and
like Aizen, like the mastermind who's pulling the strings.
Or just like a big named villain that will like last an arc or two that people are like, oh, like that dude's going in the pantheon of like, you know, I want his toy.
Kind of.
No, it's just villains of the week.
It's kind of villains of the week.
Whoa.
Yeah, like it's like so like this is like this. I'll tell you who the villains of this arc are going to be. It's Dong-Suk Hwang, the guy who's laid up right now in all the casts, the Korean S tier who went to America.
Okay, well, wait, maybe don't start saying this because that is like a crazy spoiler.
Well, he's a bad guy. He wants to kill Jinwoo.
Well, but like, he's kind of ambiguous.
Well, he wants to kill Jinwoo.
I feel like he's ambiguous.
He told Jinwoo's father he's going to eradicate his entire family. In this episode, he says, I need to find an artifact to kill Jinwoo's father.
I guess so.
Well, part of that is not antagonistic.
I guess so.
And then we've talked about ants.
Yeah.
Big ant season. Big ant season.
So exciting.
There's going to be a lot of ants.
Cool.
And then after that, there's like... After the ants, there's bigger baddies that get introduced. Right. It's like kind of like Jinwoo's father was like the harbinger of like, oh, there's more out there. And that's when you start getting like the genre. If anything, the biggest weakness of solo leveling is the fact that it's solo leveling. Like it is so Jinwoo focused that like even on an antagonist scale, unfortunately you don't get much in the way of like, oh, this is an antagonist that's stuck in my like my craw. Right. You know, like I'm like, there's no Friezas, there's no Cells, there's no Pains. Like I wouldn't tell like I'm gonna say like, hey, if you want solo leveling, read Solo Leveling for the power fantasy. Like it is power fantasy incarnate. It is as well written as a power fantasy gets. Jinwoo's always appropriately strong. He's always getting like ridiculous abilities. He's upgrading. He's cutting through people with ease. There's like skeleton knights shaking in their thrones because he's sitting on the back of their chair kind of thing. So like that's why you watch Solo Leveling. And unfortunately, I was like, FMAB is a really good connection to make because FMAB you're like, oh, the scale, but like, oh, like it takes Edward like 60 episodes to get strong, but like this, like the ending of FMAB is somewhat similar to the ending of Soul Leveling. Like the scale gets crazy. Ed fights fucking God. He fights God.
Yeah,
he fights a guy who makes neutron stars in the palm of his goddamn hand, right?
Yeah, but you don't get the sense FMAB doesn't scale in the way that like Naruto does, where it's like it doesn't feel ridiculous by the end of FMAB. Like it feels like if a dude who's just like a really good fighter showed up, he'd still pose a threat to Ed. Like it's not like they're doing like, you know, like crashing moons into the planet.
Yeah,
like,
but like Father is quite literally has the ability to create anything, and then he makes a star in his hand.
Yeah, I don't get the sense in FMAB that like if they did more, if they did like a sequel series, I'd be like, oh, well, like nothing will compare to Father. Like even though Father was like a cosmic level threat, the threats aren't about raw numbers and analytics. You know, it's not like, oh, but this guy turns countries into tsunamis. And it's like, it's more about like what
they're trying to accomplish. It's story-driven as opposed to like power-driven.
Exactly.
And that's a big difference between like FMAB and Soul Leveling is like Soul Leveling is power-driven.
Yeah.
And so it is going to become about those numbers. It's like continent shaking moves kind of thing. Like, oh, I can teleport. My army is now 300 people, that kind of thing. So there's always going to be a number in terms of scaling upwards in Soul Leveling. But like it happens really quickly.
It's a math shonen.
It is a math shonen. Like anything, like fucking Dragon Ball. I mean, like Dragon Ball introducing like power ratings, like power levels was like one of the most like irreversibly damaging things to shonen that's ever been done. Because like Seven Deadly Sins tried to do it. Like Dragon Ball did it. Like so many like people are like, oh, we're gonna like dictate literal, physical, hard numbers to how powerful somebody is, so you can be like, oh, they're getting stronger. And it's like, I don't know, man, just show it.
Yeah,
and it's just like introduce like irreversible like power scaling. But yeah, so
well, it's also just more fun when it's ambiguous.
Yeah,
because when you have a like specific number to it, we'll take Dragon Ball for example. It's fun to be like
they drop it eventually.
Well, but I mean, no,
they do.
Well, but like it's fun. Something like My Hero was great because you get the sense that everyone power-wise is on the same playing field.
As long as they know how to use it.
Yeah, it's just about skill and intelligence. Yeah. And that's the most fun version of a power system because then you can be like, oh, my favorite character is a tape guy.
Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah.
I knew for a fact you were going to say Sarah.
It's like my favorite character is Sarah. And you could be like, well, that's ridiculous. Like, he could never beat Bakugo. And it's like, well, actually, if he used his power like this, and Sarah's proven that, like, he's intelligent, resourceful in this episode. But when you try and do that for Dragon Ball, it's like, my favorite character is Yamcha. And it's like, all right, well, Yamcha can never beat Vegeta. And it's like, you're right, objectively, so this was fun.
Yeah, unless like, you got like a fucking IV drip of sensu bean smoothie.
Yeah, but like the point of a character like Mirio in My Hero is to prove that a character with a power that's like kind of boring could beat someone like All Might.
Yeah.
Like, what if you're like, oh, All Might has the strength of a nuke.
Yeah.
And he's going up against a guy who can walk through walls. On paper, that's not a fight. But meeting Mirio, you're like, oh shit, All Might's lucky if he lands a punch.
Yeah, solid possibility that it could happen. Because the second that All Might starts swinging, he can just be like, oh, I'm negating it, right?
Exactly.
I also said, this man wants to fuck Jinwoo, talking about the head of the Hunter Association.
Yes,
he was just like, I haven't felt this way about a young man in years.
I know, he got wet when Jinwoo blew him off.
Yeah, he was like, oh my God, I love being friend-zoned. Go Jun-hee is a really cool character. And I said, if I had a nickel for every Corpse Collection anime in the past 2 years, I'd have 2 nickels. And while that's not a lot, it's weird that it happened twice. Yeah. Because it's just Kaiju number 8. It's just, hey, we gotta, once we're done with this, we gotta pick all the pieces up because it's
this is very Kaiju number 8.
Yeah, there's like Jinwoo, in this episode, we're talking episode 4, Soul Leveling. In this episode, Jinwoo just decides, oh, we're gonna go on a mining trip here. Yeah. And we're gonna rock up these crystals with everybody else. And everyone, it's so funny to me. Everyone is like, oh, an E rank.
Yeah.
Hey man, you're hitting rocks. Like, they're like, oh, he's like, E ranks get treated the same anywhere. You hardly have to be a hunter to swing a pickaxe.
Yeah. You shouldn't have to be a hunter.
You should have strong dudes. Get a fucking excavator.
Yeah, you get a college intern to do this.
Why is it just dudes with pickaxes?
Yeah.
It's dudes with pickaxes, like pulling crates out.
Yeah.
Literally roll a bulldozer.
Yeah, true.
What are we talking about? The dungeon boss is behind a gate.
Yeah. It's just written by a guy who has no idea what fucking excavating is actually like.
Spinny excavators and make this thing. You could have 20 less people risking their lives in a dungeon.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about this episode?
It's like so fine. It's a middle episode. It's just he gets promoted, and a bunch of S ranks are like yapping about him as always.
I want you.
This is just a prelude into him getting into the A rank dungeon.
Mm-hmm. It's always so funny to me that there's only 10 S-ranked hunters in all of Korea. And I'm like, they never really touch on it. They do hunters from other countries, but I'm like, damn, there must be so many in China.
Well, I was going to say, when he was like, that makes him one of only 10. And I'm like, oh. And he was like, in Korea. And I'm like, oh.
I was like, that's
not a lot.
There's like a lot of these motherfuckers.
Yeah, I was like, that's not that crazy.
Yeah.
Only 10, or like.
Korea's got the population's like 32 million. It's not a big country.
Well, it's also when you're like, oh, that makes it, like, if it's 1 in 10 in the world.
Yeah.
That'd be more impressive. Like, I don't know. Like having like 200 in the world, it's kind of a lot, know?
There's way more than 200. Like that was the thing is like when Dong Suk Hwang was talking to Jinwoo's father, he was like, yeah, like if all of us get together, if all the hunters get together, we can pretty much beat anything.
Well, it's like, and people will probably be like, well, 10 out of the whole population, that isn't a lot. Mm-hmm. But when you think about it, not the whole population isn't going to be hunters.
No.
It's like a tiny sliver. I'm sure people got to do the other shit.
Yeah, somebody's got to be a chef.
Yeah, someone's got to be a chef. Someone's got to run the electric company. Like, so it's like, that's like being like, oh, you're one of 10, like, if you're like, you're one of the top 10 content creators in America, there's got to be a lot of content creators. That's not that high. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I mean, it's still like, so like that wouldn't be like, oh, I'm not one of the 10 most impressive people in America because like there's also like heart surgeons.
Yeah,
and shit,
exactly.
Right? Like, there's such a small group of people who are content creators, right?
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
You're top 10 in content creation in America. I guess a more apt comparison because America's 10 times the size of Korea, but like more apt comparison would be like, oh, Korea. But like the biggest YouTubers in Korea have like 6 million subscribers.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's very impressive because it's like a fucking 7th of the population, but it's like comparatively to like, the Mr. Beasts of the world who have hundreds of millions because they speak English. Like it's like not that big of a deal.
Right. It's not as impressive.
No, I mean, he's going to be the most impressive eventually. But yeah, no, it's a very mid
fine
episode. It's
episode.
fine. It's mining.
Yeah,
it's a mining exposition.
We're just getting from point A to B.
I mean, so like they're introducing, what is her name? Oh my God.
The night chick, the dancer.
Mm-hmm. They're introducing her. She's a really interesting character. I mean, she's probably, if anybody was going to be like, oh, Jinwoo's not my favorite character, it would be her, pretty much. That's like, it's a 2-man race. So last week we talked about, what anime character like has the highest amount of their fans? Like, this is my favorite character. The answer is Jinwoo.
Yeah.
It will always be Jinwoo because like he is put in the solo and solo leveling. But like some people would say some of his shadows eventually like get like really funny personalities, like Biru, who you'll meet eventually. So like people might say that like Biru is their favorite character. But yeah, Jinwoo is by far and away the favorite character. And that was solo leveling. I mean, it was a fun episode.
Sakamoto days?
Sakamoto days.
How'd you feel? Episode 3.
3. So last week we talked about like what is possibly going wrong with Sakamoto days, and I came to the realization that the reason I said it feels soulless to me, I was like, it feels hollow as a story, and I realized the reason that it felt hollow as a story to me is because episode 1 adapts chapter 1. Episode 2 adapts chapter 4 through like 7-ish.
Right.
It's like 4, 5, 6 are episode 2. They skip straight up chapter 2 and chapter 3 of the manga.
Yeah.
And they kind of go back and touch on it. Like, that moment where Taro jumps for his wife off the cliff? That is completely different in the manga. Like, that moment is shown 100%. Again, like, he tries to give her a gift and there's blood on it, and she's like, oh, you're not allowed to kill. Like, everybody has somebody that matters to them kind of thing. But that happens. That story is told to us because in the beginning of the episode when she's like, if you are killing again, divorce. divorce, like, divorce. E.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it was a long word to spell out loud. And after that, she goes like grocery shopping or something, and her bus gets jacked.
Yeah.
And so Taro and Shin have to go like stop these bus jackers, and like Taro is like trying, like he's doing the whole thing in like a girl mask.
People jack buses.
People like there's like 3 or 4 bus jackers that are like I don't know what they're trying to accomplish. I don't remember exactly, but he has to like he takes like a stop sign and he jams it into the ground and like stops a bus with it. And it's like this whole crazy sequence that shows the beginning of Shin and Taro's relationship. It shows like, and then like at the end, like Taro saves his wife and she's like, I never feel like the bus jacker's like, aren't you afraid? And she's like, no, because he's coming for me. And it's like a cool like exposition to their relationship. And then on top of that, the next chapter 3 introduces a pretty important character called Officer Nakase. And it's just like, we're skipping a lot of the hijinks of Sakamoto Days to just get to like the big plot points. We're getting to like the, like, oh, like, hey, here's where Shin is introduced. Here's where Lou is introduced. And now it's like, here's where Nagame, the guy, the transformer, the guy who turns into Taro in the beginning of this episode.
Oh, yeah, the shapeshifter.
Yeah, Nagamo. I think it's Nagamo. Like, they're just getting to all these points where they can introduce all of these characters. What, do you need to leave soon?
No.
Oh, you've checked your watch and clock like 3 times. You looked there, and then you looked there.
I looked at chat, I turned off my screen, and then I looked at my watch.
Nice, good. Got all the screen.
Yeah.
You went big to little, all the way down. So they're just getting to all of the important points where like, oh, like they're trying to treat it like a straight up shonen. And the thing is, it's not like what makes Sakamoto Days great. Like, yeah, there's good action. Yeah, the assassins are cool. But like at the end of the day, at its core, it is just a story about a retired assassin who gets brought back in, which is a trope that's done so often in media that both Family Guy and Rick and Morty have made jokes about it.
Right.
Like it's the son of a bitch I'm in kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so Sakamoto Days just being boiled down to that story and taking the personality and the fun and the jokes out of it is why it felt soulless. This episode was fun, but I'm not going to sit here and say that it looks good.
Wow.
I like the animation. I like the animation. I do the art styles fucking with me. But yes, the latter half of this episode is a lot of fun.
Well, beginning of this episode, I wasn't really into it.
Yeah.
And then I started having a bit of a blast.
Yeah.
When he was fucking like in the bunny suit
in the sugar suit.
Yeah, he's in the sugar suit, and Mr. Sakamoto's like teaching him or like coaching him on how to beat this guy.
Yeah.
That's really cool. In the very beginning, when the shapeshifter shows up, he's like, hey, is something weird with Mr. Sakamoto? I've never heard him talk this much.
Yeah.
He talks as much every goddamn episode.
Yeah.
It's my biggest complaint.
That everyone says that he doesn't talk, and then he talks.
He's so chatty.
Yeah,
he talks so
chatty.
much.
Like it's like even in this episode, like he's like doing a fair amount of talking. Like, it's not even just Shin reading his mind. He's just chit chatting.
Yeah.
He's just absolutely chit chatting. Like this is a very heavy Taro Sakamoto episode, and like that's not like he is a fun character. He's not the most interesting character in the story. Like Nagamo, Shin, Lou are more interesting characters. But yeah, this is definitely a heavy on the chit chatting episode.
Yeah.
You want him to be fucking strong stoic type.
I want him to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I know.
He's way funnier if
Are you
he
still
does
watching
that.
the dub?
Yeah, I watched it this time. I'm gonna swap because it's bad.
The
but
dub is not good.
yeah, it's really
The
bad.
dub is not. The sub is actually a lot of fun. The sub is very, very good.
What else? Yeah, I enjoyed it towards the end, but otherwise it's I don't know, it's still a mid show.
Yeah, I think this universe is the goat of casual magic, though. You love casual magic, and Nagamo just showing up and being a guy who can change his face into other people's faces, and then they just never explain it. And then like Lou goes to ask Shin about like how he's able to read minds, and it gets cut off. Like they just never explain how some people are just fucking magic in this universe.
Yeah, it is really weird. It's just like the John Wick world.
Yeah.
Where it's just like assassins kind of run everything.
Mm-hmm. But in this world, somehow the guy who doesn't have any magic powers is the greatest assassin of all time.
Yeah.
Like objectively, he shouldn't be. The guy who can turn into other people should be the greatest assassin of all time.
That's so true. That's so entirely fair.
Like,
Turn into his wife. You won't see it coming.
You just stab him a bunch. Also, why is no one just shooting Sakamoto in the head? Why is everybody trying to sneak up behind him dressed as a janitor and stab him in the spine? Just snipe this dude.
I think they've tried to shoot him in like episode 1.
Did they?
Yeah, everyone was shooting at him, and he was like blocking it with chopsticks.
Of course, but like that's because he saw the guns.
Also,
I'm saying put a fucking bear at 50 cal a mile from him and lace him with a supersonic bullet.
That's fair. What's his face? The main guy tried shooting him, and he blocked it with candy.
Yeah, I mean he also blocked a bullet with his glasses in this episode.
True, that was wild.
But he's seeing all these guns. He's getting hints about all these guns coming. I'm saying just set up fucking Chris Kyle a mile and a half away and just lace this guy out. It's only by the way, how much do you think 1 billion yen is?
I don't know, $4.
It's $10 million.
Okay.
Would you try and kill Taro Sakamoto for $10 million?
10 million?
Yeah.
Does that have to be him?
Yeah, I mean, the bounty is on his
Probably,
head.
probably not. No one survives. It's like
The thing is, everyone survives.
well, everyone survives. Yeah, then I take a crack
I'd
at
be
it.
throwing my body at him every other day.
That's fair.
I'm like, he stabbed me where none of my arteries were. He very specifically didn't try to kill me.
That's fair.
I'd be throwing pipe bombs into his convenience store every day.
Yeah,
I'd be kidnapping his family.
yeah. Just bar the windows and throw a bomb in there.
I'd be his Joker, dude.
Yeah.
I'd be chasing after him.
Yeah, that's fair.
I wouldn't know what to do when I caught him. After that, I said, do you think the pizza assassin makes the pizza?
Dude, my note for the pizza assassin, first off, probably not. I wonder if he just orders a pizza.
And then it's just
and then it goes.
But then unfortunately, he's only ever important when somebody orders a pizza.
Yeah,
so does he
that's
have
true.
to circumvent, he's like, oh, they ordered pizza. Now is my assassination window?
No, yeah, he must be a pizza, delivery service.
Yeah, it's but he's the only pizza guy. What if you call Domino's?
He's a pizza man. Well, he waits, he hopes.
He hopes
That's why he's a pizza man, because his reviews have to be so good.
that he hopes that his targets order his pizza at some point.
Yeah.
What a fucking nightmare.
He has to raise the chance of other people ordering his pizza.
He needs to become a national pizza chain, but he is the delivery guy.
I was going to say, what a missed opportunity to not make the pizza assassin a racist caricature.
Oh, just deeply Italian.
Just a big, Mamma Mia, Sakamoto.
I mean, he did try to kill him with pizza cutters.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they were halfway there.
I wanted the accent.
That's just broken English, or not even Italian, just broken English. That'd be awesome. I said, I got questions. I said, I like the idea that this trip for, let's take that from the top. I like the idea that for this family trip to Disneyland, the 2 employees who could run the shop had to come.
Yeah.
They're just oh yeah, shut the whole shop down. We just hired 2 additional people for our family business. But yeah, don't have them run the shop or anything.
Yeah, they, I don't know how this shop stays afloat.
Yep. And Lou's just running interference. Shin's doing all the heavy lifting. Shin's killing dudes.
Yeah.
Shin is fighting a guy on top of a roller coaster.
That was the other thing. Shin jumping off the roller coaster and then jumping onto a different part and grabbing that guy.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
Shooting his restraining thing out. Yeah.
Yeah, all that was spectacular. I like how there's a bit where he falls. He falls from a 200-foot drop, lands right on his spine on the roller coaster, whatever, the track. And then he hits his spine, grabs onto the railing. He's like, whew, that was close.
Yeah, and he's just gripping 1% of that pole.
Close to what? You fucking would have survived that fall if you survived the one you just did.
No, he's a superhuman. He's actually superhuman. I mean, he can read minds, but he also, he falls several hundred feet.
Yeah.
And he lands on the guy down on the ground after tackling him off their roller coaster battle.
Yeah.
What? When he laughs,
just looks so weird sitting.
Yeah, right. Doesn't he look like a dude?
Yeah, it does look like a dude.
He sits like a dude. It makes me so happy, and he's really chill about it too. He actually
just got this weird face about it. I don't know.
We do this almost every night. This is how we sit on the couch almost every night.
He's so I don't know. He looks so forlorn. He's got the weight of the world on his shoulders.
He does. He just kind of he goes slack body.
Yeah.
He just loses all tensile strength.
Well, just his face is so it's just it's been so hard lately.
He's getting bowdy. We're talking about Wagyu. He's in my lap, by the way. And my final note was: is there no goddamn security in this park? Everyone's just pulling out not only pistols, silenced pistols.
I know. Well, when he pulled out a gun to shoot his own restraint, I was like, I guess it wouldn't be hard to bring a gun onto a roller coaster. They don't check.
No, but they check before you get into the park.
I guess so, yeah.
Through a metal detector.
Yeah.
I thought when he pulled out the gun, he was like, I can't get him. It just blows his brains out. I can't deal with this failure.
Yeah, because he's freaking out. He's like, Mr. Sakamoto, there's a guy. The guy just gets up and he's crawling
Persona.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
He's like, I can't let him down.
Yeah. Didn't work. And then also I said in this show, this Sugar fights a bad guy show. Why is Sugar getting Glocks pulled on him out at this Disneyland show?
I also thought that. I was like, wow, thank God this was a combat heavy showing. Otherwise, it'd be
Also, shout out to that MC.
Yeah.
Just improvising improvising and rolling through with it. That or Shin just went bar for bar with what the show notes were already going to be.
Shin's just thank God I love this show.
Yeah, I fucking been here a dozen times.
I love if afterwards, Shin gives the costume back and that dude just gets chewed out by his boss. Like, what the fuck was that?
You made our MC improvise. She was sweating over here. I also, that show ends with Sugar getting his throat slashed, you realize, right? like everyone's, yay, Sugar won. I was like, Sugar has no carotid artery anymore.
Yeah.
That was very fun. Cool. That is everything we got.
Yeah.
Think, right?
Do you have news?
Yes, I actually do. So my best boy is actually a piss boy, and it's Neutron.
Woo!
It's Neutron, as you can see.
Because he was expensive.
Yeah, because Neutron cost me. Actually, should my piss boy be the American veterinarian system?
Well, Neutron did kind of cause it. To
Neutron
be fair,
ate a part of a shoe.
Yeah.
So that is on
what an idiot.
Yeah, just like an actual dingus. Yeah. And they're like, oh, did he get into any food? And I was like, I don't think so. Little did I know, shoe.
Yeah.
So yeah. My $4,000 dog, what an asshole.
Yeah.
Neutron or Wagyu got into a full street fight with one of our foster dogs. Only cost me like $900. So yeah, Neutron is our more expensive child. Apparently.
Yeah. So your piss boy is the concept of dogs.
The concept of I need to keep these motherfucking things alive.
Your fucking piss boy should be pet insurance because you don't have it. That's why it's so expensive.
It's expensive.
Well,
if I paid pet insurance every single month that I've had Neutron.
Yeah.
Well, when we got Neutron, he had a pre-existing condition. He had cancer.
Right.
So we probably couldn't have gotten pet insurance for him until we got that taken care of in the first place.
Yeah, that's the scam of all insurance, I guess, is that it's like without pet insurance, it costs like $5,000 to get them fixed. But if you're paying pet insurance for like 3 years and your dog's healthy,
$5,000.
Yeah, you've paid $5,000 anyway.
And then, oh, cool, you have a deductible on your pet insurance. So have fun paying the first $500 of this anyways. Like, I don't know. I'm currently uninsured from a health perspective because if I ever get deeply ill, I'm just not gonna pay it.
You just went skiing.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
Your shit. If I like broke both my legs and they were like, that's $100,000, I'd be, oh, cool. You fixed my legs. I'm leaving. I'm fucking, but your credit, it goes off your credit in 7 years. Don't pay your medical bills. If you can take anything home from this episode of Otakus Anonymous, don't pay your fucking medical bills.
I don't think you know.
If you get deeply hurt, one, do not bring your ID to the hospital. Get in an ambulance, give them a fake name. Get the medical insurance, fill out, just lie on everything.
This is insurance fraud.
It's not insurance fraud if you don't have insurance. Don't say you have insurance. Just lie about your name.
Well, wait, hold on. It's still insurance fraud because you're lying about having it.
Don't pay your medical bills. My credit. Oh, you're going to buy a house? Are you going to buy a house in the next 7 years? No, none of us are. We all have leases. We're locked into on cars we all fucking hate from 4 years ago.
Don't they go to debt collectors and then they sue you?
No.
They find and
they
sue
go to
you.
debt collectors, and the debt collectors buy the debt off the hospitals, and then 7 years later, like it affects your credit. 7 years later, that comes off your credit score.
But what do the debt collectors do with the debt they bought?
They get fucked like the nerds they are.
I don't think so.
They can't sue you.
Yeah, they can.
No, they can't.
Yeah, they can.
They can sue these fucking hands, dude. Don't pay your medical bills. Don't ever pay your medical bills. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it.
Wow, and that's the official tagline of Otakus
Shout out to Luigi
Anonymous.
Mangione. We need more of him.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. I'm gonna shoot the fucking head of vet insurance. Anyways, do you have a best boy?
My best boy is the Ninja Gaiden series because Ninja Gaiden is back. Yeah, here's the fucking timeline.
Here's the thing about Ninja Gaiden. The fact that boss explodes is crazy.
Yeah, not awesome.
That's dumb as because there's no way to know.
No.
There's no way to know.
You don't know. It's awesome.
You have to beat the boss once to figure out that the boss explodes.
I beat that boss so many goddamn times as a kid until I looked it up and they're like, you have to block it. And I'm like, why would I think that?
Yeah.
Well, I used to just like run as far as I could and then he gets you anyway. But anyway, Ninja Gaiden is a franchise started in like the 90s or 80s on like the NES. And it's like a 2D fucking Mario with swords kind of deal.
Yeah.
And earlier this year, a few months ago, they released... Okay, actually, hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself.
From the top here.
From the top, it's a Mario with swords ass game. Then, in like the Xbox to Xbox 360 era, they started coming out with like 3D Ninja Gaiden games.
Yeah.
Called Ninja Gaiden Black, and then Ninja Gaiden 2, and then eventually they made Ninja Gaiden 3. And they were sick as fuck. Ninja Gaiden 2 is so good, and it's so vicious and fast, and it was like my favorite game ever as a kid. Then Ninja Gaiden 3 came out, and it was bad. It was real not good.
Sad.
And they kind of fixed it with Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge, but it was too late. The damage was done. The franchise was dead. That game,
And that was a decade and a half ago.
that was a decade and a half ago. Then a couple of months ago, they released a trailer for Ninja Gaiden like Rising or something, and it's like a reboot to the 2D side-scrolling franchise.
Oh, crazy.
And I was like, whoa, Ninja Gaiden's back as a series. Kind of sucks it's not the one I like, but maybe this means sometime in the future we'll get a 3D one like the kind I'm into. Flash forward to fucking like 3 days ago, they drop a trailer for Ninja Gaiden 4.
Yeah.
Which is the next game in like the mainline 3D series. And it looks sick as hell. It's as fast and vicious as the other ones. There's multiple weapons. He's doing the Izuna drop and shit, which is the thing Sasuke does when he like Lion's barrages a dude.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
And that was awesome. But I was still a little like, well, it's been like 15 years and it's a different studio doing it. So like, I'll be like cautiously optimistic. Hopefully it's as good, if not better, than my baby Ninja Gaiden 2. In the same goddamn trailer, they go, also, we've remade Ninja Gaiden 2 and it drops today.
That's like that needs to happen more often.
Yeah.
Like
just shadow dropping.
Just shadow drop it. Just be like, oh, you remember that thing you love? Yeah, there's more of it. And it's here now.
Yeah,
you don't
it
have to
happened
wait.
right now.
There's no ambiguous timeline.
Yeah.
It's here.
I want it with that attitude where they're like, yeah, drop today, bozo.
Yeah.
What fucking duh,
Oh, you see
idiot.
it on Steam? Get on there, you fucking nerd.
Yeah, get on there, bozo. Yeah, what a crazy day for me specifically and literally nobody else.
Yeah.
What a crazy day to be like, oh, here's Ninja Gaiden 2, the one you like. We skipped one.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Have you finished it yet?
No, I'm on like chapter like 8 of like 19.
Damn.
So I've been cooking.
You're hauling.
I've been playing. I'm skipping cutscenes. I'm fucking
Oh,
just,
you know 'em.
Yeah, I'm
You
just
got 'em
fucking
memorized.
cooking. I'm in Venice right now.
How does it look?
Great.
Yeah.
Looks really good.
You're in like Italy?
Yeah, you go to Italy because it's overrun with werewolves.
Of course. What else? Yeah, fucking. There's more moon in Italy. That's what people don't
There's
know.
a cutscene I'll show you where like werewolves are just running amok in Venice, and then Ryu, your main ninja character, just like rounds a corner, and like people are sprinting by him. He's like, "The fuck's going on?" Then a werewolf comes out, and he's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
oh, this."
so he was just in Venice.
Just like,
He
yeah.
just happened to be, and he was like, I could use a spicy pizza. And then he was like, oh my God, there's a werewolf.
Yeah, just wanted a good bouillabaisse.
What a coinky dink. Good for him. Does it look good? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You just asked that.
I did?
Yeah. Are you setting me up for dragging these nuts across your face
know.
or
I
something?
think I just literally have a concussion,
Gotcha.
actually. Cool. My flashback is that Undead Unluck's manga ended.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you read that? Have you finished it?
I haven't read like the last 80 or so chapters, but the last chapter dropped a couple of days ago, and I know how it ends.
Oh,
Yeah.
spoilers?
Do you want me to tell you?
Sure.
Fuko and Andy get it married. That's cute.
Medium spoiler.
Yeah, it's a cute. It's a cute story.
Um,
It's a romance fucking
do you think
action anime.
Do you think you'll finish it?
The anime? Dude, they dropped the second
The
season.
manga.
Oh, do you think I'll finish it ever? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't like. Unfortunately, like what I read nowadays is heavily dictated by like what I can make content about, and like nobody wants Undead Unluck content for me.
Yeah, it sucks that Undead Unluck really kind of like fell off
Yeah.
in terms of interest.
Because like it was also like it looks good as an anime. It was
Yeah.
fun. It's just like it's just not. It's not the greatest story.
Yeah, it was just slow.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, cool. Andy's naked again.
It's also like the power system's a little like restrictive, where it's like it has to be something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this one's a disease.
I mean, they get real fucking sideways. Like,
Yeah.
don't worry. They un the un.
Yeah.
So they're good. Do you have news?
No, I thought I did, but I guess the Ninja Gaiden.
I guess Ninja Gaiden is news enough. All right, that brings us to our favorite part of the episode where me and Danny ask our live audience to give us a question that we answer here live on the podcast. So if you guys want to get access to the podcast 2 days early, hang out with me and Danny live while we film, or even get the chance to ask us a question that we answer here live on the podcast, you can become a member of the Patreon for either $4.99 or $5.99, depending on whether you want to be Team Nick or Team Danny. I think they actually cost the same now. I think we have 2 tiers that cost the exact same. I think it's $5.99. You also get 2 additional hours of Nick and Danny content a month. We're gonna film what Scooby-Doo movie we're doing today.
Are we doing the live action one?
Are we?
Okay.
I think there's still ones we haven't done.
I mean, there's 40.
You want to do a John Cena one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do.
We should absolutely do the
let's
John
do that.
Cena one.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to see me and Danny react to the John Cena Scoobert Doobert movie, boy oh boy do we have a Patreon for you. Noctis asks, what Disney princess would last the longest in your anime of choice?
I got plenty.
Oh yeah?
I got plenty.
Okay. You already gave us a pretty good example here.
Give Moana a straw hat.
Give Moana. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, she'd be a menace on the Grand Line. She can control the ocean. Half the people can't even use it. They can't be in the ocean.
It's not even that she controls the ocean. The ocean just loves her.
Yeah.
The ocean, like, is an entity, and it loves her and wants her to succeed.
What's kind of crazy is that she kind of has, like, if she was in the One Piece universe, she has devil fruit powers, but her devil fruit powers are the ocean.
Yeah.
And, like, so, like, she wouldn't be, like, rejected by the ocean for her devil fruit powers.
No.
Also, like, an entire thing that fishmen in One Piece do to, like, fuck people up is they just, like, hit ships with a bunch of ocean water.
Yeah.
And all of the devil fruit users are just immediately shut down.
Yeah.
So if Moana was like, oh, I want to take that boat down, she could just, like, flip it and, okay, see you later, Luffy.
Dude, a pirate who could just sail next to a ship and, like, flip it like it's a fucking book drop.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
That's a great choice.
You want to talk about the one I suggested earlier?
I want to talk about the one that I thought of.
Okay.
Put Elsa in My Hero Academia.
Okay.
Right? I mean, like,
That's
there's,
pretty
like,
good.
at the highest level in the, remember when there's the ice dude? There's, like, that ice dude with the hood. I'm forgetting his name for My Hero Academia. There's
Ice dude with a hood. I
yeah,
only
he, like,
know.
he, like, creates, like, an ice dragon, and he's battling against, I forget who he battles against. It's either-
9?
No, not 9. He's under the stress guy. He's like one of the stress guys, like champion, like captains. I forget his name. But basically, like, if you have a high level ice quirk in the My Hero Academia like world, you can become one of the most powerful people in My Hero Academia. And Elsa's got one of the craziest like ice based abilities we've ever seen. Yeah, that
It
one.
looks like an ice climber.
What's his name?
Getten.
Yes, Getten. Yeah, so like Elsa would just effectively be Getten, but like on the side of good. She'd be like half of Shoto, but like I feel like her ice powers probably are better than that of Shoto's.
She does some pretty crazy stuff.
She has like a whole castle out of like
She also creates life. She like makes Olaf.
yeah.
And an ice horse at one point, I think. Yeah, she may be stronger than Shoto, but
I
he
think
has
so.
fire.
Yeah. So
You
like,
think he just goes full fire when up against an ice person?
100%.
Yeah.
What else? You don't fight ice with ice. You
Well,
fight fire
ice
with
is
fire.
good because you can make platforms.
Yeah.
Ice has mobility attached.
And so you hit that Frozone. She did hit a Frozone.
Yeah.
She's sliding around.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
she'd be great in My Hero Academia.
I like that. I also suggested Mulan in Naruto.
I mean, that's just
No magic. She does have a dragon companion, which is good.
that's like so actually
Summoning jutsu.
Mulan in Black Clover.
Oh, interesting.
Because there's like spirit magic, and it's like, oh, there's a fire spirit, a wind spirit, like a water spirit.
Oh, yeah,
and that's
yeah.
where you get like those kind of like companions. But Naruto would be better because she is like kind of a ninja. Yes, she's not like a ninja.
Yeah.
She's Mongolian.
Yeah.
But like
She can learn some jutsus.
she can learn some jutsus. I feel like
Yeah.
that's pretty good. I'm trying to think of like other superpowered Disney princesses. Moana in One Piece is incredible.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Is that it? Is that all Tangled? No, Fiona
Fiona
from Shrek.
From Shrek.
She has the ability to talk to animals.
Not Disney, but I'm down for that. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
that
she's
works.
Pixar, you're right.
No, she's not. She's DreamWorks.
DreamWorks. I thought the fucking, it was the moon.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, DreamWorks, we get a lot more options because we have the dude from How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, I mean, yeah,
He'd be in Black Clover.
he would be, I feel like he'd be like in Monster Hunter. If you want to
Monster Hunter.
throw him into a Japanese production, yeah.
That's pretty good. There's Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots would be,
Puss in Boots also belongs in One Piece.
Puss in Boots does belong in one. I was gonna say, what fucking anime has talking animals?
Yeah.
It's One Piece.
Yeah.
He would be a great pirate
Either
captain.
One Piece or he's just fucking getting it in B-Stars.
Dude, he would be, you don't really see a lot of cats.
Just
in
a
these
Spanish cat
You see a
man.
lot of like straight up. You see like tigers.
There's a dog.
There's dogs.
There's Jack the dog.
Yeah, but like you're not seeing like
Yeah.
he's like a golden retriever. How many like oh this is my like calico,
Yeah, no.
right? It's all like it's like jaguars and tigers.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, that's all we got this week, guys. Thank you so much for checking in with us. We appreciate you. Me and Danny are gonna be filming our Scoobert Doobert video for this month in a couple of hours here. But Danny's got to go box. But we appreciate you guys checking in for another week of Otakus Anonymous. Danny, got anything to say before you go?
Real quick, Panda Mom has 2 great suggestions. Merida from Brave in Vinland Saga.
Never seen it.
All right.
But it's about Vikings, right? She's like a Viking.
She's like, no, it's Celtic. She's like a shaman archer. And then also Puss in Boots versus Mihawk.
Would be a great fight.
Yeah, but then Perona wants to keep Puss. I don't know who Perona is.
Perona is, she's Mihawk's, like, I don't even know how, it's like consort. It's weird. They got a weird relationship going on.
Mihawk versus Puss in Boots would go really hard.
That'd be sick. It'd be a battle of the big old hats.
Yeah.
But all right, guys, we love you. Bye.
Bye.